Les gens pensent que le temps est une simple progression de cause à effet. Mais en vérité, d'un point de vue non linéaire, d'un point de vue non subjectif, c'est plutôt une sorte d'énorme boule où le temps s'enchevêtre comme un méli-mélo très complexe.
I'm always here and there. Whoa. I fear of missing out and hate what I've become. And I'm torn. A handshake, a smile, yeah, the blink of an eye. Everything that can change a life in a minute. Ooh, probabilities, which way is made for me? Don't know who I wanna be. Under my skin, je sens le temps qui défile et je vacille. Under my skin, j'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. I'm always here and there. Oh, victory of a fear. I don't wanna waste all my years. I'm just getting older every minute. Ooh, it's a plan, it's a fuss. There's nothing I can do about it. Time to roll the dice. Under my skin, je sens le temps qui défile et je vacille. Under my skin, j'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. I need to stop running from the hourglass. I can't be part of everything. And I need to leave all the trouble behind. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me victory of a fear. I don't wanna waste all my years. I'm just getting older every minute. Ooh, it's a plan, it's a fuss. There's nothing I can do about it. Time to roll the dice. Under my skin, je sens le temps qui défile et je vacille. Under my skin, j'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. I need to stop running from the hourglass. I can't be part of everything. And I need to leave all the trouble behind. J'entends l'horloge qui m'appelle et me défie. In all my dreams you're screaming, burn it down. I woke up in a dark place. I try to see straight, but it's all a blur. I just wanna see your face, but I'm shivering, looking for a kerosene cure. I heard my fortune read from a fire lit by the dead. I saw the start of the end, and it whispered, let's burn it down, down. There's no way out. I can reach you like a matchbook speed, and we can't slow down. 'Cause I need this now. In all my dreams you're screaming, burn it down. Burn it down. match in the middle of the crowd. Watch it explode, let it fall to the ground. Wow. Yeah. I let the match in the middle of the crowd. Watch it explode, let it fall to the ground. I let the match in the middle of the crowd. Watch it explode, let it fall to the ground. In all my dreams, you're screaming, burn it down. There's no way out. I can reach you like a iceberg, speeding and we can't slow down. 'Cause I need this now. In all my dreams, you're screaming, burn it down. Down, down, down. You're screaming, burn it down. Down, down, down. In all my dreams, you're screaming. In all my dreams, you're screaming, burn it down. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous.
Folks, welcome to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Stage 5 community stream. My name is Seymour, alongside me, Mick. We're here to bring you the matches for this Day 2 series. Mick, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, dude. I've actually, for once in my life, had more than 8 hours of sleep last night, so I'm well rested for this series, man.
Exactly. As am I. I'm well rested, excited to go because we have some hype matches. We're going to start off with Jabberwockies versus Lore Gaming. And our second match of the day will be Jabberwockies versus Team Canada. And we got some look-ins as well. We're going to be taking a look at sometimes into UT Crew versus UYU. So keep your eyes out for when those pop out. But excited to see this match coming out because these teams are ready to go. So let's hop right into this raid. Hardpoint to start off the day. Jabberwockies versus Lore Gaming. Let's hop into it, Mick.
Yeah. As we can see, these guys are also hopping right into it. A lot of quick kills right off the rip. How everybody's really establishing themselves on the site. Jabberwockies being the one on top. These guys are having a great little transition, a great little hold. Lore Gaming have to find an answer pretty quick because they seem to be closed out in their spots.
Yeah, well, looks like we're gonna have some time to talk about these teams as we restart the lobby because we didn't really get some time to prep these two matchups. But probably the best one that we're gonna be seeing all day long is these two. The outcome is what I'm excited for because these two teams are sitting 2-0 right now after their day one. When you look at Jabberwockies yesterday, they got their wins here. If I take a look at it exactly, they got their wins against No One Shoots Back and UT Crew. Oh, sorry, that's Lore Gaming. When you're looking at Jabberwockies, they got their wins off of BBG and Trash Bros. When you're looking at Lore, as I said, No One Shoots Back and UT Crew, both of them looking to kind of trump over the other one and lead stage 5 right now. So when you're looking at both of these teams, Mick, what are you really highlighting in the series?
I'm highlighting both teams' just strengths. I mean, that's all I really see between both of these. Both these teams are just super dominant. They're super just good at it, putting themselves on the field and absolutely just running a series. So I'm super excited to see a lot of contention between these two, a lot of kind of back and forth, and especially when it comes around to those searches, a lot of answers and retaliation between both sides where we're seeing kind of 1-1s across the board and hopefully seeing some overtimes with that.
Oh, no, exactly. And you're kind of like looking at the history between stage 4 and stage 5 into these that they have relative success as well. I mean, this is the stage 4, number 3 and 4 team where you're looking at Jabberwockies, previously the system, and Lore Gaming, previously Nemo. And I think that for Lore Gaming, when you're looking at them going up against a team like Jabberwockies, they add Yeez here. I think Yeez is a really good fit because you're looking at Yeez to kind of go toe-to-toe with a player like Decimate who really stands tall on the map, and he's tough to kill. So when you're looking at an aggressive player like Yeez, I think he's going to provide a little bit of pacing for Lore Gaming, especially behind the veteranship of Parasite. And you're going to be looking at those two players to really lead Lore Gaming on these respawns. So as we get back into Raid Hardpoint here, I'm keeping my eyes out on Parasite and Yeez to really step up to the plate against Jabberwockies.
Yeah, and I'm completely with you on these guys and how everything really goes down. And when we're looking at both of these teams, we already see kind of a little bit different of a story than what we saw last time because these guys, it really just comes off momentum and how well they play off of that. And once whoever gets that better start, they just absolutely run with it.
We're talking about a start, fellow. 3 right in a row to break into Hill 1 in the spawn flip. Lore Gaming going to be from the P3 side of it, looking to fight on back, but a brilliant start out for Lore Gaming as you look at Sib around the corner. Parasite takes the one-on-one and just maintaining mid-map control for Jabberwockies.
Yeah, just the way these guys are playing it out. Obviously, wanting to look at this next site right now. We see Sid trying to hold it out the kitchen, try and peek those spawns a little bit because we see Ramby back there trying to get those rotations out. I mean, the way these teams are eyeing these sites, trying to make a transition, they're doing a great job. But Jabberwocky slipping up a little bit there in the kind of their transitions. So really trying to get on that P2 and find themselves around the site. Not exactly holding out as well as we thought they would really perform in this stage.
No, but even after the flip, Lore Gaming holding on to the second point, and this is where you can soak up a ton of time and take quite the lead into these money hills of 3 and floor. So in the term of Jabberwockies, already 2 off the board still. Don't have spawns broken. Decimate from the front, looking to get that crossfire broken up, but not going to happen. 3 in a row for Lore Gaming as they're looking to hold down on Kitchen. Zig's the last one standing, able to chop up a few of these players from Lore Gaming, but really interrupting spawns is he's not actually going to have any interpretation at all. Just a brilliant flurry of kills from Lore Gaming so far.
Yeah, and just kind of a lot of individual efforts here from the likes of Jabberwockies. Not really a collective push from anybody. No real establishment from these guys to get them on this site. As we see, Zing's in this 1v1. He's kind of been holding it out. He's the biggest factor of a curveball that Jabberwockies has right now on the site. And now that they finally have it, they got 2 guys in there and they have no rotation. So they're going to have to run across the map to even try and attempt to get on this P3.
Well, Lore Gaming once again, driver's seat for the hill so far. Ramby going to be that forward positioning. Spawns out on a player, you can tag him up. Looking to finish it off. Not going to happen. That's Sib with the 74U, and you know how dangerous he is. Off screen though, Yeez looking for 2. Can't take down Fellow, so it's a start for Jabberwockies to break on in. You got to look at the flank though. Perform the new kid on the block here, looking to tear it up. As you do see Jabberwockies, they do break in, but Perform here looking to stand tall. Sib though, non-stop 5 streak for himself. 10 and 4. To start off this hard point, starting off with a bang. Can he make it any more? Makes it a 6. Looking for streaks. Ziggs helps him out. So still on the brink of finding those streaks, but he has to take this last gunfight, and it's not going to happen. So good on Lore Gaming to shut down those streaks, and even Parasite to break in with 3.
Yeah, and also to get on that site, grab that last couple of seconds because they already have Ramby over here on the other side of the map trying to grab these spawns, trying to grab a little bit of establishment for that site because they do need those rotations and Decimate. Finding a little bit of a peak there, but not able to close out that kill as we see the rest of the Jabberwocky squad going across the other side of the map. So we're going to see a split effort right here, but it really just comes down to how they collectively push in. It seems as if they've caught their drift to get on there and finally find themselves a good start for a site here.
Good chance to bring this one back. Decimate locks down Kitchen for their team, but Lore Gaming going to hit set up for their second take. Ramby caught by the grenade. Decimate drops to Perform. So it's all up to Ziggs. Looking to get 2. Confirms back-to-back kills. And onside Jabberwocky just holding it down for now. Zing set up in money. This is going to be so dangerous. Finds in succession of Decimate. Another 2 for Jabberwocky. He's making a 3rd, and so far so good for Jabberwockies on their comeback.
Yeah, doing a great job right here, and especially when you're getting on this P3 and finding your whole flow right there. Because as I called back and back and back again, this is your little bunny trail you got going on. You got P3, 4, and 5, or excuse me, 4, 5, and 1 all lining up right next to each other. Very easy transitions for both sides of the field and both teams. It really just comes down to who can play that better defense and move collectively because the other side is going to be left with nothing but scraps everywhere.
Sib here on his flex roll of the SMG. So far having quite the game, 12 and 5. Can't account for the player behind him. Ramby sneaks in for 2. Such a snake to cut out these Jabberwockies players. That's all up to Decimate, and he's not there for long. As Lore Gaming successfully locked down Courtyard 4, now it's Fellow looking to maintain ring control, but he is still a few gunfights to win before he's in this control set up. Able to find one. What a shot onto Yeez! And his teammates winning out inside Courtyard. It's Decimate with a big 1-on-1, but he's not going to take it. It's up to Fellow to break in now, and that's successfully a break from Jabberwockies.
Yeah, a great one at that. I mean, the way that Lore Gaming had already found the rotations, they already found a little bit of defense over there. Only biggest issue for them is they split out around the map, trying to hold the outsides and trying to cut off from even getting into that center point on P5. But when you really just don't have a collective effort there to really shut people down, you're going to have those kind of breaks from here and there, and you're going to open up a lot more opportunities for your opposers to get onto that site and really have a lot more flexibility of where to. So that's kind of where that break happened, and they got to play this a little bit more together next time on P5.
Well, so far into the second set of rotations, a 30-point lead for Lore Gaming, looking to take it to the next level to start us off. No streaks either through the first set of hills. It's Lore Gaming having quite the start now. taking their lead up to 40. You're looking at Jabberwockies to set up for this break. Decimate might be able to do some damage, but he's cut off by Yeez. Excellent job by Lord Gaming. If they take down Fellow here, they're in full form to take so many points here, but Fellow's able to get onto the site with the help of Sib. Jabberwockies a chance to cut down some of this lead that Lore's accumulated.
Yeah, not enough of a push from the likes of Lore Gaming, as we also see a TK coming down on the field. They just kind of were a little uncertain of how many players were on that side, even though you can really read the kill feed and find a way to know, but there's not enough real push there for them to go ahead and get on that side, because Fellow, as you said, was the only one there, and he was more than capable of getting shut down when you have 3 guys rushing. The pull just didn't come through, and that alone, they kind of forfeited that site, giving Jabberwockies this lead.
Well, as we restart this lobby, as I'm sure there must have been a scanner repair or some individual problems with these players, I'm really impressed with Lore Gaming going into this day too. Quite the start from themselves. I know I highlighted Yeez, and he's really been a factor into this game, winning his one-on-ones against Jabberwockies, and it's really kind of telling. I'm seeing a lot of misplays from Jabberwockies, a lot of individual gunfights, and a lot of over exerting themselves to flip out on certain spawns. So they're not really controlling this map very well. And the likes of Lore Gaming, they're fully controlling it and not letting Jabberwockies take anything.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the way everything's panning out for, I mean, Jabberwocky is doing just a great job playing as a unit. Lore Gaming, as we said, being a little bit more of an individual highlight as we talk about those 2 separate guys. And it's just not enough of a team effort. And they do find a lot of control. They do a great job of being around the map. It's just they have to utilize those individual picks to open up the map and play into it as a unit and find a little bit of couple breaks and open up those avenues to find the sites, because we just didn't see enough of that. We saw a lot of scatterbrain plays. We saw a lot of great individual efforts, but we didn't see enough holding down those sites, holding down those areas to allow your team to really just play around with the map as much as possible.
And that really comes down to the anchor players, the ARs on raid. They're not doing their job to lock down the spawns on Jabberwocky's side. However, Sib, a player who's flexed into this one, he does have previous history on the submachine gun rolls. I mean, the Mat is kind of in Black Ops 4. It was that kind of gun where you can flex it to both sides, and in Modern Warfare, the MP5. So Sib can do the duty. Takes up the 74U. I mean, he was 12-5 at one point, so he's been firing up for the squad. He just needs some help to lock down these squads. And I mean, Jabberwockies were 1 hill away from tying it back up. You know how raid can flip flop back and forth from either side. However, Lore Gaming weren't really let him do that at all. And I'm sure if that scanner repair, I mean, they were in such a good position to even lock down that first hill if that scanner repair or whatever happened did happen.
Yeah, and especially, talking about the transition from P3 to P4. I mean, the way they really flipped that out, and especially to kind of have that answer from the likes of Lore Gaming to be on that P5 and find a little bit of time there. Just a lot of trades out going back and forth for that site. And it's really just kind of highlights these teams and what they're capable of doing, because typically you have a more of a one-sided fight. If the better team is on that hill, they're going to defend better. They're going to find a way to spread out. But we saw a little bit too much from both these teams trying to spread out. And the reach just came in a little bit too easily for both sides, which really gave us a good game, which really just breaks down who's going to catch on those rotations quicker, who's going to find those sides, who's going to be those anchors, as you said, and really just establish themselves in a site so they can find something and get a whole entire, 60 seconds compared to the 15 that you're trading in and out.
Oh, for sure. And if you're just joining us, everyone, this is the community stream for the Stage 5 Elites Day 2. If you want to go check out the main channel, you can head over to Call of Duty Challengers and check out the main channel's games of Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back right off the rip. And then following that is going to be UYU versus Built by Gamers. So 2 very excellent matchups over on the main channel. So if you want, go check it out at youtube.com/Call of Duty Challengers, as Tier 2 is absolutely booming today. And I mean, Jabberwockies, I'd like to see them kind of pick it up right now, because they have a long day on stream. You look at right after this one, Jabberwockies versus Canada, but we also have some look-ins as well to kind of take on board. We got UT Crew and UYU off screen, as well as No One Shoots Back and UT Crew following that one. So plenty of games over here, and going to keep you up to date as we have that. So if we're looking at the program feed, we can hop in with Built by Gamers and Trash Bros to check out this matchup, as well as we're hopping into the Search and Destroy and Trash Bros. Well, after that map 1 win, they're leading the search 1-0.
Yeah, finding themselves a quick point when it comes around to the maps, and as well as these rounds as they close out that second, just absolutely showing what a dominant force they are. And you know, with the people that they have and the titles that they have under their belt, they definitely kind of are running this table and Built by Gamers. Looking, you know, with them being such a capable squad, I think we're going to be more likely to see an answer here from them being with the slower pace of Search and Destroy.
Couldn't agree more. And this is your stage 4 victors as well, Trash Bros, against your number 2 team from stage 4, Built by Gamers, who have had, it's more of a mix-up so far. They're 1-1 right now in stage 5, so you're really looking at them to hold their own, especially against a team like Trash Bros, which they should be right behind mathematically, as we're hopping on board with Yuli with mid-map presence. Trash Bros set up with 3 to mid with 1 over at B and a chance to shut this one down, as Hollow's going to get all the information as he shoulder peeks that. Built by Gamers stunned, but Pentagram looking for an opening.
And they have to collide on this together, but they get a trade regardless, find the ways onto the B site. And with these clips that are going on the outside, Mock being the last one, it looks like Built by Gamers going to find themselves a clean first round on the board for them.
That's exactly what you need. I mean, you catch off that player Hollow outside of Tiki, take control of it, as well as the collapse onto mid from GodRx and Pentagram. I mean, I don't even think Trash Bros were expecting that amount of presence from the side of Built by Gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The way they just kind of flowed onto the middle of the map, winning those trades, even if it's one-on-one, and then getting that whole player establishment, especially from the push that they made over towards that B side. It was very clean for them. They did lose one in the process, but they made sure to follow up through it, which is the biggest thing that you can really take out of any fight in this game of COD. With it being so fast-paced, you have to find something. And they definitely found enough to manage something and get themselves a first round.
Ooh, Pentagrams finds the first, instantly traded by Yuli, but Kismet snuck himself through mid-cut, so he might be able to catch a few of these players off the rotations. Take a look at Trash Bros. 1 inside bedroom, 1 zigzag. Yuli on an island so far. They know exactly where that player is. The other 2 are unknown. With 3-3 in player count, and nobody wants to make the first move.
Absolute stall out here. I mean, as we can see, I mean, Built by Gamers obviously eyeing that B side a little bit, but in this stage of the game, when you have it drawn out this long, I mean, you got Pander. He's the only one really allocated towards that ace. So, I mean, if they can find that bomb and rotate out quick enough, they can really find something. But Yuli's the one's trapped. He's really holding back.
Oh, Kismet almost catches Hollow off guard, but he's totally ready for that slide into it. So advantage now to Trash Bros. Trying to get this bomb down. GodRx can put a stump in the plane here. Finds that bomb player, but catches off. So to leave Pander last alive now to clutch this one. Hollow spots him in the corner. Yuli shots to the leg. 13 seconds. Immediate transfer from BBG. They tie us up 2-2 with some heroics on Pander. However, Mick, it looks like our regular broadcast is going to be starting back up over on our main matchup between Jabberwockies and Lord Gaming. We're getting a full restart on Raid Hardpoint to hop back into it.
And once again, it looks like we're going to see the close race, because it's going to be the 3rd time we've seen this, and each side has really flip-flopped on who's going to get that lead. And as we see right now, Lore kind of being the more consistent advocate this time around, with them getting the lead and getting that 3-piece as a team right there, absolutely closing out this second side.
Yeez is down. Sib's gonna find it and just tease for a little bit of information. You can see the pinch setting up from 2 players in behind. Fellow from Money is able to find 1. Now the collapse. Decimate for another one. The pinch is in. Ziggs, can he find the second one? Parasite slides out to get a better position on this gunfight, but it's gonna be a teammate that takes him out of the mix. So Jabberwocky's able to get back into this. And they have Fellow being a little bit of a nuisance over at Garage, so this is absolute chaos on the map.
Yeah, and Perform just standing up to his name. I mean, absolutely following through. Having that 4-2 lead, also having the 31 seconds on site, having most of the teams allocated real time. I mean, that's just huge for this guy right now, and he has to be the push when it comes around to breaking this P3, because Lore holding it out, it looks like Jabberwockies have to find an answer because they're down 5, and this is going to be a huge rotation for him being cross-map.
Yeah, Perform on a 4 streak. Lore Gaming, they get the rotations from 2 to 3. Yeez inside of Art knows exactly where Fellow is, but he is going to mind his life and walk right into Decimate outside that. So now a chance for Jabberwockies as they find the opening kill. Immediately, they're walking into the slaughterhouse, though. Parasite and Perform cut down 3. And Lore Gaming are just looking so good right now on the rotation. It's just, you're not accounting for Ziggs. Sneaks his way in. Can he shut down the Strays? No, he cannot. So Perform now on 6.
He only needs 1 more to really get something going here, so he can have a lot to play with to go ahead and get that cross map rotate. As we see Jabberwockies already holding this out. A good little hole from him right there, picking off Decimate. You know, that's going to be enough for Lore Gaming because he's such a great player, but you also have to worry about the rest of these guys because Perform is still alive and he's still holding that time. You have to cut off these rotations to go ahead and make sure these streaks don't get onto the field.
Yeah, Perform almost mirroring the start that Sib had last time. It is going to be Jabberwockies with the rotation to basketball court. Zinx watching the flood through jungle. Ramby slides in. He's going to pay for it in blood. You see the rest follow in sync. Trades from either side, 2 for 2. Lore Gaming are into it. You see Perform found that artillery strike as well. So now he's playing for the cruise missile. Can't lock it down. It's going to be Sib to shut it out. And Jabberwockies now looking to maintain this pressure that's being put off the front line.
Yeah, and that really could be enough for them to find that P4, but there's only 27 seconds left. Artillery strike. That's the issue when you try and pop it there on P4 because you do have that little shack to take that cover in. And as we saw, Jabberwockies doing a great job of rotating in there, finding that cover. P5 probably would have been the better advocate to really throw that out, but obviously we know they have to get on the site because they're probably going to be getting close on the lead here.
You do see the break finally come in for the last little bit of scrap time, so it's going to provide Jabberwockies with that chance to lock down courtyard. You see Sib looking to push Ramby out here. They're dancing around the ring. Hops up top, gets the better of him from the top down. And now, Jabberwockies, once one-on-one could be so big from Decimate, but he's getting pinched out from the cut as well. Lore Gaming successfully cross into this figure. So now Jabberwockies going to struggle to get in here as they're just looking from the outside on every angle. This is so well locked out from Lore Gaming, but Sim might just be that cutoff man. He gets in with Decimate, and that's a brilliant break from Jabberwockies.
An amazing break for them to find this picks, get over there on the outside, find every single angle, and almost just read where the likes of Lore Gaming is just really hiding out. It was a great shot from them to really get it out, and Lore Gaming, as we can see now, really cutting their losses, moving over to that P1 now, saying, that's going to be pretty hard to break ourselves. They had a lucky break, and we just need to go ahead and reset, because we're still going to have this lead regardless, as there's now 10 seconds left, less now, and they're still going to be contested.
And we look at before the restart, Mick, as we're heading into our second set of rotations. It's this exact same timing last game before we had the issue. It was about a 40-point lead for Lore Gaming, now about 30. And they have the lockdown 2 to start this one off. You're looking at an early break from Jabberwockies, take it out at 3 in succession, make it 4 down for Lore Gaming. That was flawless from Jabberwockies, and Sim's even looking for more.
Because, I mean, this man's going to go ahead and push out. He's going to find those angles where he can really blend that 74U. And that's going to be that mid-map because you know there's going to be a push coming from there. Not really getting anybody on that, unfortunately. But the rest of the Jabberwocky squad, they have enough to really play with here because it looks like they're trying to manage something so far as they're actually being on the site and holding it out.
Oh, Sib! Oh, Zinx has his back up there. I thought he was going to find the second one, but 19 and 14 as he's locking down courtyard as his teammate. We're going to win this gunfight for the scrap time. He's just dancing around each other. We're even going into kitchen the second time around, Mick. And this time, Jabberwockies are going to be the first ones here.
Already set up. You see, man. You see Decimate over here in this laundry losing out that fight, unfortunately. And the way they're just holding out right now, Jabberwockies just having such an established placement here on this site. But Yeez, being they haven't pushed up far enough, he's going to have a pretty easy break. So, compared to what you typically see out of both these squads and how they really go back and forth. And it seemed almost like such a flawless, almost too clean of a take there for Lore Gaming as if Jabberwockies gave it to him.
Yeez is really just being that nuisance to Jabberwockies to hold them back as he's 21 and 17. 2 players in front of him looking to hold off for extra time to Lore Gaming, but you have a pinch developing for Jabberwockies. You lose out on Fellow, but Decimate's still finding picks to the front line. He's going to be pressured out by 2, so Lore Gaming looking nice and dandy here as Jabberwockies doing the smart thing, looking to play for next.
You see that? I mean, being across the map, you have to go ahead and start eyeing that. I mean, hell, not even at 7 seconds. You need to be looking at it more like 15 because that's how long it's going to get across the map. And as we see, Jabberwockies already holding it out as they're now in a 40-point deficit. This is the exact site they need. They have to go ahead and play with the advantage they get from this rotation. But they also have to make sure if they can get one break and go ahead and move out off that with that scrap time, they can find themselves an easy lead here.
Decimate and Fellow. They hold off in the first one. Ramby, who's not been having the greatest map number 1 after the reset, 8 and 19, is going to be forced off here, looking to play for his life, but backs on in, and he's going to find a huge kill now. 3 go down for Jabberwockies. Ramby beams off Fellow with that 74U, and now Lore Gaming racing over to basketball courts. You're looking at Parasite to really put a nail in this team.
Yeah, nail in the coffin is exactly what it might be if they can find a lot of the time here. Because we already do see them on the other side of the map. We see Parasite holding it out right here. And if he can find that double, doesn't exactly close it out as Yeast gets closed out as well. They have to now find this rotation because they went from being in an awesome spot to now what could be really unfortunate for them because there's a whole minute on this site. And this is where the bunny trail really starts if they can't go ahead and get a lockdown on defense.
A 30-point lead being cut down point fast. Lord Gaming setting up around jungle. Rambi stumbled over my word as he falls off the map. That's really going to put a damper into this attack. Sib locking down Kitchen. You got the chef cooking it up here with the 74U. What more can he do here to hold off? You got the second Flood, Sib, and Decimate on that crossfire. Parasite finds an opening with Perform, but now that we're even and Perform's doing the dirty work, Decimate shuts him out. And Jabberwocky's going to get right back in this and take their first lead of this hardpoint.
Yeah, just finally finding themselves something. It was really a tie game there for a second, but they've now actually established that lead. Only 12 seconds left on this site, so Lord Gaming could definitely make a rotation here to P5 because we saw them do such a great job holding it out. And they've also done a great job of finding that early time. Defense does fall a little bit late for them because they do find a little bit of cracks that get manipulated fairly easily, but as long as they've learned their lesson and can really establish themselves on the site, only issue is we got Parasite over there on the outside getting that pick. Full side's open now. Things just absolutely flooding down, and Jabberwocky's now being the one to hold it.
Zinx gets Decimate onto it, and this is the player that we said toughest one to kill on the map, but he is going to get cut down by Yeez, his 1-for-1. Fellow on the angle with Zinx, looking to hold back this next rotation from Lord Gaming. You get back on the side of your Decimate and Sib to try to help you out. Jabberwockies are falling one by one, but Lord Gaming are struggling to get any time off these kills. So Jabberwocky's not really doing the worst of job. If you're Lord Gaming, you're going to need to force it to this next hardpoint.
I mean, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to also make Rambi step up a little bit because if we look at the spread across the board, Jabberwockies, anytime, the only real slack we see is from the likes of Zinx and Fellow, but they have so much time on the clock that they're doing their job in an outstanding fashion. And meanwhile, you got Lore Gaming, just one guy who's really not pitching in enough here as we see them trying to go in for these rotates and just getting closed out at every single angle.
10 seconds left for Jabberwockies. You're winning all your gunfights now in the kill feed. Fellow finds Yeez. Parasite might just find an opening. 2 seconds. You have to get on the hard point. Nobody can. Parasite maybe, but Jabberwockies are going to cut him down. And they are going to open up tonight's stream with a 250 to 239 barn burner of a map 1.
That's exactly what we want from the likes of Raid, man. That's exactly what it brings to the table, especially when we're dealing with both these outstanding squads. And I think with them revisiting this when it comes around to map 2 on the Search and Destroy, it's going to give us just one equally as hell's a match.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even talked about this. We haven't even talked about that Raid's going to be...
Possible because UT Crew just running the table here.
On polar opposites indeed. UIU off day 1, 2-0. However, UT Crew 0-2. Looking to bounce back here in the series to light their fire in stage 5 elites. You see Rex is here on the rotation with their team. UIU flooding on in through Plat and Dark. You see a 1-for-1 trade, but here come the rest. Noisy 4-2. Ward with a third. If you can break these spawns, it's beautiful for UIU, but they haven't done that just yet. Phantoms puts a stump in this lineup as he takes down 3. And on back, UIU, they hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, just finding great little picks here. Phantoms just going off right there. Absolutely just steamrolling their lead. As we saw UIU finding, maturing their claws a little bit. They just got them trimmed so quickly from that man.
Now, if you're UT Crew, you can really put yourselves in the home stretch here. About 20 seconds to win out on this map number 1. UIU need to marginally play perfect to win this out. But this is a chance now because Garbage Hill can't set up for a spawn trap. Noisy is going to look to win this fight on platform. And that's a little bit different. It's been a while since I've seen somebody walk in a line that fast. So that is a little bit troubling in that map 1. Looks like we're having a little bit of server issues, in fact. So we're going to hop back to ourselves there. But UIU struggling against UT Crew early. showing that there's a little bit of change from day 1 to 2 for UT Crew. They're bouncing
Yeah.
back in full fashion. As they, like I said, they're looking to get their first win here in Challenger Elites 5. But as we take back to our main feed here of the Jabberwockies versus Lore Gaming matchup, map number 2 coming up very shortly, Mick, and we're highlighting Raid. You said it yourself. We already saw that Hardpoint kind of come out. So what are you looking at here in map number 2?
I'm looking at Raid, man. It's your typical game. We see a lot of teams playing across the whole map, utilizing both sides very efficiently and just finding a lot of establishment across the board. And that's exactly what I love about this map. I mean, there's no site that really seems too dominant. We see teams splitting up all the time. If they say something doesn't work, we'll try something else. And we can sit there and go back and forth, back and forth. And if we feel comfortable somewhere, we'll go back to it. We never really see one side being too dominant or, predominant compared to the likes of the other. And that's what I love because it offers so much flexibility across the map. It really puts an influence on that middle map compared to the likes of others and really just gives us one heck of a game because there's so many high points to play with as well.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, day 2 is it's way different from day number 1, which was so unpredictable because we saw countless Garrison hardpoints and countless Express S&Ds over on day 1. But already we're seeing back-to-back raids. So it looks like we're away from trying to counterpick each other and just playing on these comfortable maps that we've seen in every stage turning up into this one. So we do hop into this game number 2. I mean, nothing's really changing for me. I'm still looking at Yeez to continue with his dominance over Jabberwockies because when Yeez was popping off for his team, you were seeing them just flourish and really turn up good in that hard point. And I think if Ramby can have a successful game this time around, I think Laura will find a lot more victory against this Jabberwocky squad.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, they just have to play in their strong suits a little bit more and have to kind of play off the momentum of their better players. Because across the board, you're going to see these guys, as we mentioned earlier, Lord just doing an outstanding job on those individual efforts, and they have to follow through with that. They need to find some backup. They need to find some trades once they pop off and finally get shut down. You need to have that follow up there. You need to have that second line of defense or that second line of offense to flow in there and take something if you need it.
Perfect. But as these teams hop into the second map, you've already highlighted the success on both A and B. I think it's going to be important to really see how these teams can lock down the middle of the map. But Mick, after that game number 1, how are you feeling about Challenger Elite so far?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I feel like we've gotten exactly the kind of series that we were looking for so far, especially all these 2 squads with the whole new branding, new name, new feel kind of deal going on right now. And I mean, they're really sticking to it. The way they're playing out these maps, I mean, that hard point being so close. And it just, I mean, all 3 times, basically, especially the last 2 where we got to carry it all the way to the end. I mean, the way they're just kind of really following through with their shots, getting those picks, and we see a lot of streaks. It's just awesome to see from them.
Yeah, well, Jabberwocky successfully winning out on that map number 1, looking to keep it going for the next one. But we're going to throw it to a little bit of a break while we get ready for this map number 2. When we come back, we're going to hop in with some more Challenger Elite Stage 5. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Jabberwockies and Lore Gaming. Search and Destroy already off to an electric take to the B site. As you see the bomb going down instantly, Yeez opens up with first blood onto Fellow. Civ finds the trade, but the bomb goes down nonetheless.
Yeah, are we sure we're watching Search and Destroy? Are they going to Hardpoint again? I mean, that was one hell of a quick take from these guys. Absolutely rushing in there like they had infinite lives to work with. And Lore Gaming have one hell of a little back and forth there as Jabberwockies actually end up on the good side of these.
He's on players on each side. He's just being tagged down to 102. The pitch comes in. Decimate follows through with that nade successfully for the retake. And I mean, Lord Gaming with as quick a site take as they had. Jabberwockies, I mean, they retake with ease.
Yeah, and that was really unfortunate for Yeez right there. We saw he had the eyes on Decimate there for a little bit, tried to find the kill, but just couldn't get that last shot down. And that could have really tied it out because he knew he read Zinx like a book, knowing exactly where he was up there in the top, getting the pick from Parasite, and knowing that intel was in his hands. But he just couldn't follow through to get both of them with that aggression from both sides.
I really needed Parasite to stay alive in that bedroom because that's such a power position for the post plant. Off the B site, however, Zinx 2-0, brilliant start to the search. Continuing off the momentum from game 1.
Showing it right now, man. I mean, Lore finding themselves some great openers, but they just kind of get shut down pretty quickly as Jabberwockies is a little bit quicker to the cut when finishing those fights.
Oh, Ramby, exactly what I asked for. That's bomb down in. First blood on the fellow. Nonetheless, that's going to be a big name off the board. Looking to force the rotation as well. Number 7 with the bomb, just trying to get some info. You have the rotations from Lord Gaming here. So Decimate looking to find an opening through Tiki. Parasite around the corner, slides, gets the info. It's going to be important now for Decimate to find a kill. To get this bomb down. Parasite drops, and that should be the go-ahead. You lose that on Sib. It's going to be even harder.
We also have Yeez coming in with a massive flank right now. He could possibly find both of them knowing that they're out in the open.
Oh, Yeez is really just that cushion for Lord Gaming right now. And through the wall is going to find that last one. Lord Gaming suffocating Jabberwockies on the B site. Off this first kill from Ramby, and his presence in basketball court was so well known.
Yeah, I mean, he got the opening pick. You can call out that bomb, know exactly what's going down with these guys, and it was a great start for him when they just kind of had that lock constantly going through. Having no shots come up there from top bedroom, you knew that it was going to be open, allowing Yeez, your star player, to come through there and find a couple picks. Him and Ramby just being a dynamic duo right now, getting every single kill thus far.
First blood to Sib. Parasite as well. 0-3 to start off this search. Not having the best one. Decimate caught off for the trade. Not sure he expected Ramby to speak so aggressively, but here comes the rest into kitchen. Zinx is going to be ready for it. Takes out the first, gets out with his life as well, but the chase is here. Has another one to deal with. Perform's going to find that. Back and forth these teams go. Sib finding himself rotating into the pool. Needs to stay alive here. This is so important, but Ramby's going to shut him down on 2v1 for Fellow.
Fellow, I'm surprised he's holding this angle. Obviously, you see these guys rotating. They actually fall into his arms as he closes that out. What?
That was the most interesting call I've ever seen from Lord Gaming. You had no idea where Fellow was, but what you did know is that you had B-site on lock. Why would you rotate?
Saying, man, go ahead, find the trades, get that bomb down, create a little bit of pressure for your team. I mean, A-site would have been a great shot, but you have to find a little bit different of an avenue to go there because that just did not play into their favor.
Well, folks, we're going to hop on over to Trash Bros and Built by Gamers as that second game ends again, as we apologize for all the server issues we are having on this night. Just seems like Cold War's not agreeing with us. But however, Trash Bros, BBG, 1-1 heading into the control now. Back on Garrison, Mick. This is going to be an interesting one. Pentagram finds an opening onto the site, and should be a great start, as his first break's going to be so important.
Yeah, and also just equally important is how they actually made that comeback on the search and destroy. So now we're sitting at a tie series from them, and Built by Gamers getting this great start. They obviously just flipped the tables to find themselves a little bit of momentum to play with because they're just riding the wave right now, it seems.
Riding the wave, and as you see the forward positioning off of that first set of kills that Trash Bros had, cut off already by Pentagram and Kismet, but Yuli through the vents. He's going to hop up with Hollow to take down another one. That is such amazing map control here for the defenders.
Yeah, just holding this out right now. You see these guys holding it out. I mean, defense, they are down, 2 lives now. We do have Trash Bros trying to scrap up because we see Built by Gamers right there, just collectively finding themselves as a force and just getting 3 guys here on the side, or 2 now, just absolutely sweeping out that B side. They now have to find their way over to A, and they have so much room in the mid to play with.
Minute 38. 24 lives to 19. Built by Gamers in full force to take this attacking round, but You're looking at Kismet here to really put a bolt in the side of this spawn. He has the artillery strike, but he's going to use it in later rounds. Right now, not needed as he swaps to Hollow. 3 in a row once more. You're going to hop on this A side, stack it. Yuli's out of it too. BBG can put this away.
Oh, easily. The way Kismet's over here in the back, getting all these picks, just absolutely locking them in their spawn.
A menace!
It's just you can't play the game, man. You have all his teammates over there on A side at the exact time he's fighting, and you don't know what to focus on.
What bad of Kismet was the saving grace of that round. I wouldn't say saving grace, but just the superpower to Built by Gamers on that attack. And they found 2 in a row now here on Garrison Control. That's going to force a full reverse sweep on this control just for Trash Bros to stay in this. Or stay in this map, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they have to find themselves. I know we sit there the other day, we dealt with a best of 2, but this is definitely a best of 5, and we have to sit there and consider that these guys, they won't be out of the game just yet, but they will have to find themselves another hard point if they're going to just keep themselves alive, because the way they're holding this out, Built by Gamers, they're just absolutely finding them ways into every single avenue, every single angle, and just closing out all avenues of aggro.
We all know how important the first fight is for both attackers and defenders. Jintroid gets on the site, even opens up on a pentagram to keep this progression going over on B. You're looking at that player in the backline, Kismet, to do some work, but he's going to be traded out. So still a chance for Jintroid. Can he win this fight on GodRx? That's so big now. That's the first tick cemented and control to the attackers.
The way they're holding this out right now, I mean, B kind of slipping up a little bit from the likes of Built by Gamers, and it seems as that they're really tossing it because they are down these lives. They don't want to sit there and lose too many fights over there because they're already kind of in a little bit of a deficit because it looks like Trash Bros is finally finding a little bit of, avenues and a little bit of space to play with. And as they're trying to make their way towards A now, this is where they're really going to run into that kind of rough because, I mean, Built by Gamers, we saw them, they pop off. And once you let one of those guys run, they are going to keep going.
Well, Trash Bros, you needed a spark in your game. You found it. B, done. Minute 50 to now find A. As you're setting up for a pinch through Brick and Green. Mock finds the first one. Jintroid in a one-on-one against Pentagrams. He's just dancing back and forth, just being such a nuisance here. Kismet and Pentagram do the deed. Find 2, but Hollow and Mock looking to keep him on. Hollow for 3. And that's Trash Bros putting in the first tick here on the A zone. You're looking at number 7 on the minimap and for Built by Gamers to really get on this site, but that's 2 ticks done. You have to get going. Pentagram gone. Hollow getting even more. Finally drops off this map, but Kismet now has to stay alive here. Yuli's going to find him. The nade does stick.
It does indeed. Buying themselves a little bit more time as GodRx is going to be the one to follow up there. Finding themselves a little bit of contention on the side, getting that progress reversed a little bit. Only issue you have to worry about right now is Trash Bros. They have a whole nother set of lives to work with. I mean, they have 4 more over these guys, and they can just play a little bit more aggro. And as we see Built by Gamers, they have to be in this passive situation with the site being so close.
Kismet here. Being the cutoff player. Lives absolutely cut down even. But still, Trash Bros need one good break to get onto the site. And they're still in this control. As Kismet has his eyes peeled for Mock. He's not letting him out of his sights. Pentagram, big one-on-one against Hollow here. Hollow taking this time. Hops into the window. Pentagram's forced on Elp, but has the backup of Kismet. Beautifully played by Built by Gamers. They knocked down 2. Looking for a third here. Jintroid to the site. Stops the clock. If you can find GodRx, that would be beautiful, but GodRx playing that perfectly.
Yeah, just absolutely godlike of a play right there. I mean, holding up to his name, because as we see, the lives are now tied up, and everything's going to be playing around the site, because this is where you have that other play of pressure to really come through. As we see all the Built by Gamers players trying to rush over there, they have to find this quickly, because Trash Bros is closing it out.
Trash Bros, they got that flurry of kills that they needed to. Hopped onto the site. I mean, you got to give it to Hollow because that snowball almost worked from B to A on this triple kill that he finds in the best play of the round. So they find their first on attack, a much needed round, and they can take defense as well in succession. Force a round 5. Definitely doable here on Garrison.
Yeah, finally finding a stop to the tie that is Built by gamers. They've done such a great job when it came around to search and destroy. Now following it up on the control, Trash Bros finally finding an answer. This is some kind of stop that they need to really give their team a kind of rally point, because so far they haven't really had too much to work with. They've all been performing to some extent. Yuli's been kind of a little bit depressed with the situation he's sitting in, but you finally had the rest of these guys stepping up, finding some kills, as we see right now, getting those 3 pieces and holding that out on the defense.
Ooh, Chintroid has the confidence there against the AR like Goddard X. That is a tough matchup for an SMG. You do see kills going back to back for either sides, but Built by Game is coming up with the majority. Still not able to get onto the site yet, as I say that, Kismet and Pentagram have 2 ticks at B. So Goddard X still going to take control of green. Watch out for the flank from Jintroid, because he really can put a stall into this attack if he can get on in time. Is going to make himself known, but the tick comes through anyways. So B, dusted.
As we do see, they have to keep this going to some extent, though, because we have them right now. The A side, we saw Trash Bros do a much better job when it came around to just really playing around bricks in that A side. But GuardRX, having these streaks could really throw something into the mix, because as we see, Trash Bros is really just finding themselves a lot to play with right now. And as no streaks come through, you kind of sit there in a situation where you're kind of questionable of what exactly is going on when you're trying to find the site.
How fast Jintroid is playing here, checking every corner he can. B goes down. You got a minute on the clock added to Built by Gamers. Now looking to snowball over into the A site. The lives generally even. It's the exact same situation to Trash Bros. Just one good break, and Built by Gamers could put this one away. GuardRX already finds that opening. And Kismet for the follow-up. So this is a go-ahead for BBG to make their move. Pentagram does lose their life, but that is going to be Kismet to follow up and look to pick up where his teammate left off. Being passive for it. Tick goes through. Yuli onto the site to contest, but not going to find anything other than one. So the tick goes through. Jintroid, the next one up for Trash Bros. Too many players to deal with, but he's going to come out with 2 as well. Can he find the third? Pander takes the duel with the secondary. Going to find that one, but Trash Bros did enough to get back onto the site.
Not enough follow-up there from Built by Gamers to really just get themselves on that site. As we saw earlier, Kismet being that big force over there in the back of the map, just forcing these guys to stay in their spawn. As we see right now, we got over there in the back, Hollow trying to just really hold out that spawn so they don't have it happen to them again. In the meantime, just these trades that are coming through, Built by just really funneling onto the A site, giving themselves so many picks off the board. I'm surprised they're actually only at a 1 life deficit now, even in this out.
Oh, you can see the pinch setting up now from Built by Gamers. Inside breaks, stunted out by the players lurking from Trash Bros. 3 go down for BBG. It's all up to GuardRX. He's 22 seconds left. He just needs to play his life here, because eventually you're going to have to stop this clock. Lives dead even. 7 apiece on either side. If Trash Bros walking down the site so far, it's going to take really heavy fist to punch through this setup. Hollow lurking in behind. Finds Pentagram. Finds a second one onto Pander. 4 go down for BBG. Time's going to tick on through. And that is going to be Trash Bros sending us to a round 5.
Hollow coming in clutch right there with those 2 picks in the back. Obviously, we saw RX trying to hold it over there in green, trying to get themselves a little bit of establishment and kind of hold out that time, because if you're Trash Bros, you got time on your side. So with all that pressure on the board, something's coming through with them not rushing in so far, and that's just going to let the read come through for Hollow and grab 2 gorgeous picks to just reset them and make the time run out.
2-0 start to BBG. Trash Bros climb back. As I stated earlier in this series, this is the number 1 and number 2 team from Stage 4, as Trash Bros are your previous victors. Haven't had the start that they wanted in Stage 5, but it's a good chance to show why they were those victors here. And climb back in Garrison.
Definitely have all the resources available to them to actually pull this out. As we see, they already have that hard point on the board. They did such a great job over there, cutting it out pretty quickly, and then finding themselves, a little bit of a shutdown there in the search. But they seem to come back with a reckoning on this control, because they obviously have Built by Gamer, the momentum working against them. But they are pulling this out right now as they're continuing it for this round 3, as they've had one hell of a start to go ahead and probably grab this B side, it looks like.
I'm really looking at Hollow, though, as he has flipped a switch. He's back on a 5 spree looking for streaks, and if he can lock those streaks down, it'd be so good for breaking this A site. B site's gone. Minute on the added to the time bank. Hollow finds his sixth as well, so keeping my eyes on him. Playing for that artillery strike. Has the artillery strike, though. Playing for the cruise missile. Sorry, shake that. He's going to drop that streak on down. Look to get his teammates back on the site. So they're going to stack it. You got the reinforcements coming in. Kismet, the first one in, eats a nade. But look at that kill feed. Built by Gamers. Battle on back. 4 go down. And Pentagram's looking for extra real estate.
The fact they didn't get that one tick of progress right there, that whole kind of aggro they had onto that site, that whole establishment they were pushing for just lost in a mere second as you have all the Built by Gamers guys just shoving themselves in, doing such a great retake. It doesn't seem like, though, they're really putting enough emphasis on this site as they're just trying to fight back to the spawn, leaving the site wide open, essentially.
Yuli gave Kismet the work there in Vents. GodRx has accumulated a fine spree of his own now, and this is exact opposite of Hollow. If GodRx can find this, those streaks are so useful on the site. We saw a little bit of a mistake from Trash Bros. Gives Built by Gamers that chance to put away this troll now. Minute 14 or minute 14 left on this round.
Definitely enough time.
Oh, Pentagram in behind! Takes down Yuli! Not able to find another one, so another player off the board for Trashers to make it even harder to break on in Mick. Chintroid might be that player again with Mock. They're gonna hop on the site. This is so doable here. Kismet has to find some kills. Kismet a Pentagram 4-2. Oh, this is so close from either side. A tick goes in, and Built by Gamers just weathering the storm. Now Pentagram gets in, takes down Mock. Last player up, Yuli. Has the reinforcements coming in ever so slightly. Hollow and Gentroid. Hello, Trash Bros. Second tick gone. Billy BG backed into a corner. Has to get back on the side. Pander out of the mix. Yuli, with all the players here dancing around this radar. Yuli is absolutely blowing this game out. BBG has to run to this hill. GodRx the last one up. Hollow finds it. Last hit goes through. Trash Bros climb back on Garrison to take this control.
Wow. I mean, what an in for them right there. Dancing around the tanks, getting that kind of time, just buying it as best as possible. We see Yuli right here, finally getting that little moment he needed to step up and get himself into the game, because those really picks he was finding on the edge of the map weren't exactly too influential, but there at the end, being on that site, such a great stop for them to really get the game going in their direction and close it out, especially after getting that reverse sweep in control.
Well, let's swing over onto our feed number 2, UIU and UT Crew. Because after that map number 1 restart, you see UT Crew up 1-0 from the hardpoint. We're heading into standoff, searching a Shroyan. Already keeping that momentum up. 1-0 start. You do see on defense, UT Crew down to 2 players left. UIU a chance with the player advantage. Already cut down by Phantoms, though. Evens it up and escapes. Oh, look at Rex here.
Huge flank coming through. Possibly 1 or 2 picks if he can go ahead and get this first. He does. That alone, if they sit there and air out B long enough, already getting a pick on the other side of the map. What a clean little take from right there, just absolutely utilizing the outsides.
And look at Wand here. This is the opening that we didn't get to see. Finds the first one of the round, but gotta give it to Phantoms and Rex. Bats into a corner, they bite back, and now Phantoms on a 3 spree. Back on attack, UT Crew. A chance here, and I mean, standoff ever so slightly as we are going to have to block out the mini-map for everyone. You expect 3 players on the defending side to be over at the A site, but heavy aggression to meet them here. First go down is Jimbo, first blood to Welly.
Great close right there for them. Lots of back and forth going on over here towards the A site. As we see Cruz actually getting a pick as well. We're sitting in a hefty ass 1v1 between Juan and Archives.
1, 2, all the way through Bakery. See, bomb hasn't been planted yet for UT Crew, so this is a chance for UIU to sneak away with the first one, and S1 checks the site. I don't know if you're able to see it, but playing this perfectly, might be able to spot Archives off on the rotation. That he is. And oh my god, those shots are brilliant. UIU on the board.
Are we sure we banned snipers in CDL? I mean, just those shots were all just right there on target, getting them across the map, cutting off that clean rotation, and obviously the read to know that Archives, he's kind of pushed for time here. He wants to go ahead and get that pressure down as quick as possible, and that's the second time tonight that we've seen a rotation through the mid really just costing a team around.
Momentum cut by UAU now. Chances here to tie us up, heading over to the attack. They did have a phenomenal start. It was really Phantoms and Rex that stalled them out. You see Phantoms watching this A site. First blood to UT crew. That's going to be Jimbo onto Noisy and Bomb down in a really peculiar spot.
Way they're holding this out, playing it very slow around this A site. We see them try to go for the defense here. And this typically where you're going to see a lot of this influence. The Cruz and Dylan over here in the back having their own little gunfight as we see the Bomb finally making its way towards A, but getting shut down in the middle of the map. So that's going to be a hefty situation for these guys to grab and get out with.
Welly slides across Q. Phantoms dancing from side to side. Cruz with the trade. And I love the way that UYU played the man advantage. They know they can take the gunfight and just... Welly gets a little bit of damage in. Cruz finishes it off. The 1-2 punch is successful.
And at that stage, you know, Bomb doesn't really matter all that much when you know you had that man advantage. Great push from the likes of UIU to just know, as you said, find that man advantage, play into it. And I'm really worrying about who gets the kills. Just finding damage, finding assists, and just making sure the round gets won.
And just in case anybody is wondering, we are tied 1-1 between Lore Gaming and Jabberwockies as their second map raid did go the way of Lore in a really dominant fashion, 6-2. So Jabberwocky is now stunned, heading into this control, and you can already see one tick left on B for Lore Gaming. Is that something you don't see every day? Is A is already done, but B hasn't been yet.
Yeah, and just the way they're really following this up, just finding their way to play into this. Super extravagant manner here from Noisy, just holding it out, playing his defense as slow as possible, and he's actually going to get sided out, so that's going to go ahead and be a cue for the rest of these guys because they know the bomb's going to come down here soon.
Noisy rotating through boxes, hunting for that last two players. Rex giving his information away. Archives answers back with a second. Now Sunleaf, tables have turned. Archives in a 1v1 off that gunfight from Welly. This is his chance to take the lead now. Noisy has to force the aggression. Spots Archives from the back. Perfect timing for Noisy. But he doesn't have any time to defuse. So that's going to be UT crew with the advantage here on the search and destroy.
Great play from them. Just absolutely dancing around the middle of that map to find themselves some time to play with. Just getting out that close because we've seen Noisy just win these fights time and time again. And when you're sitting in the shoes of Archives, I mean, you have a lot of experience yourself. So that's why you know that bomb is going to be close to time, and you just really want to play it out as we see him just really running, trying to make out with his life. Just going ahead and pre-firing that bomb just in case anything is going on.
I mean, UT crew finds the first 2 rounds of this map. UIU instantly answer back to tie us up, and back into lobby. Oh, as we didn't see it, we did have a restart earlier, so this is 4-3, not 3-2. Still in favor of UT crew. Or UIU, pardon. So UIU up 4-3. Archives loses out on that fight. Even a team kill from himself. So that's going to put UIU in such a great position. 3-on-1. Bomb's going to go down from Welly, but Phantoms, he knows that. He's just looking to drop this player.
That is exactly what they need. I mean, UT crew, Phantoms has to work a miracle here. He has to find that pick on a Noisy and get out almost immediately, but he can't even start off with that as UIU gets that clean trade as he's out exposed in the open.
That's 5-3 now for UIU, looking to find map 2. Dude, look, this is where Jimbo finds that first one, but it was Archives who tried to get the team shot onto the player, but takes down his teammate instead. Very unfortunate for UT crew. However, UIU, they take those.
They do indeed, especially after how they had that first map kind of go against their favor. This is exactly what they need. I mean, we've seen UIU. They're such a great team, and this kind of follow-up search and destroys where they're really going to showcase their 1v1s, kind of how they play as a group. Really just that decision-making, that decisiveness as a whole to really follow up and win themselves some rounds, as we can see them doing it right here.
Bo slides across, picks up the bomb, but Cruz takes him down. Brilliant start now from UIU. They recover it. Archives, bomb in hand, now has to find this plant because they need to flip the tables on UIU, put some pressure on them, but this doesn't look like that's the chance when UIU has such a heavy spread on this, but it's going to be UT crew rotating on around to Delhi. Trying to get in behind the squad, but Welly has his head on a swivel here, watching for Ace. Peeks the corner. Archive still wins the fight.
That indeed he does, finding themselves a very clean pick. I mean, now they're still over there on the clock, though. They still have a lot of pressure, and it looks like they're aiming for this B site because they have to find this wave. That's where Phantoms is set up. He knows that there's going to be guys over towards A as Archives gets that plant. They just have to find these flanks and these picks overall, and Archives getting tagged right there is not going to help your case.
Warden Noisy, leave Rex alone. Noisy with the turn and burn as well. Is going to hop the defuse right away, and UYU are going to bounce back after losing the hard point on Garrison and take standoff 6-3, Mick.
Wow. What a clean little clear for them to get themselves back in the game after losing that first point. I mean, UYU just absolutely finding those plays they need to get themselves on top. I mean, at hard point, we see a lot of chaos. We see a lot of really just hecticness when it comes around in the likes of Hardpoint. And when you get in that search, that's where UIU is going to find that showcase and show that, yo, we're here for a reason. We had titles under our belts for a reason. That's where we're going to show it off. And speaking of showing off, we see Lore showing off right here, finding themselves an answer to Jabberwockies in the second round of Control.
When we hit that picture-in-picture early as we keep this train going, and we saw that Lore had a brilliant start to their attack with only one tick needed to be. So, I mean, if you're Jabberwockies, being tied 1-1 here is a blessing because this could have been 2-0 easily.
Could have been indeed, especially with the way everything was kind of playing over on both sides of the field in terms of lives and in time. I mean, really, Jabberwockies had something there for them to play with because especially after winning that first round. But as we now come into the third, we see across the board just an even effort from everybody. Fellow kind of slipping up a little bit, but I mean, what he's had so far, what he's brought to the game, what he's brought to the table, just generally of this whole series, I can see him bringing something back here.
For sure here, Jabberwockies on the defense. He's look at Sibs in the vent. He's going to be instantly rotating in there. Sinks opens up at the first, and here's the pinch from Sib. Look at a dethroned Parasite on that platform. He's going to need help of Decimate instead, so that's going to be Jabberwockies with a big flood of kills to give him map control on this defense.
I mean, they're trying something here. Jabberwockies really holding out all these nice little angles, especially where Zinx was stationed. Unfortunately picked off for the man. But looking at Lore Gaming finding themselves onto this spawn, it looks like they're going to have a little bit of A control. And if they can find all of this before the likes of B, that's going to be one hell of a matchup for them, especially having that live advantage and how hectic that site can get.
Two players here. This tick's going to go by so fast, and it seems to be the case. On their last round, Parasite inside green. Can't win out on that fight. He is going to rotate back. He's on the front line. Wins out on 2. Third take coming on in. Decimates the last chance to keep it up, and he's going to concede it. So that's A dusted. Lore Gaming looking to snowball over to B.
Quickly don't see this A take first, but I mean, Lore Gaming finding what they can and just running with it. They now have to, you know, this B site, which is the most hectic of the two. It's very upfront for both sides. You don't really see too much platforms and too many aggro for either side of the field, but Jabberwockies making that initial move with Lore and Yeez over there in the back, just closing this out, possibly able to find some time to capitalize on it.
Oh, Yeez is just looking for that secondary streak as he finds the cruise missile. And the gunfight as well, looks for a second one. Big swing from Yeez. Can he make it 3 though? He cannot. Fellow is gonna look for a big gunfight there on to perform. And hop back onto this to decapture that second tick. But I mean, if you're Lore Gaming, Yeez has both streaks and you need 1 tick left with 1:17.
Only 1 tick, man. That's definitely doable for them. And they're up 4 lives. They have a lot to work with. They have a little more resources allocated to them. Only being up 3 now, but they can still play us a little more aggro, play for those trades as long as they come out there in the end. I mean, they're sitting on even trades right now. As long as they can keep that momentum and possibly find a little bit of time at the same, you know, really at the same time, just kind of finding themselves. They could definitely.
Yeez gets caught out. Decimate finds 2. This is the opening that Jabberwockies needs. Now you look at those streaks that's been accumulated by Yeez. Probably won't be used on this B site as it does have a roof over it. Nonetheless, 1 big break to get back on this. 32 seconds left. Yeez still going to call in this streak just to find an opening for their squad as backed into a corner. They need to make something happen. Cruise missile now. What can it find? Bends it into dark. Not going to find anything at all, but Sib's actually right around the corner. Yeez catches him out. Loses out on his teammate in succession. Now trying to break on in. Fellow loses his head. Big trade from Zinx, and Jabberwockies are finding all the right kills, but not in the end, as an opening now for Lord Gaming. Parasite has to hop onto this, hits the reload, sets up on the site. Big chance here as Fellows, the contestant player, Sibs on the flank, finds Perform. Dips on out, playing this route. Hops up onto the platform, slides in for one. Yeast finds that immediate trade. No respawns for Jabberwockies. Lord Gaming cut down to 5. Zinx looking for the trade, not gonna happen.
Wow.
Yeast is on a tear right now, 28-16. Looking to solidify this last tick, and with the help of his teammate,
God.
Lord Gaming find an attacking round.
Literally with 5 seconds left on the clock. The way they held that out, they lost their life advantage, oddly enough, as they were kind of sitting on a comfy lead. Not playing those trades enough, but they definitely utilized the objective to its fullest. Winning out the round with that is huge for them, because you saw the way they were setting up, they were finding those small little picks there in the end that really added up to matter. And that alone just found themselves a little turning tide to find literally something that could have dispelled the opposite end of advantage for them.
That's exactly what Lord Gaming needed, in the sense of Z's just being this aggressive player up in the face of Jabberwockies. He still has that artillery strike as well, looking to use it to put this control away and take an advantage in the series. Heading through green first, might be able to catch off a few players. Sib is going to peek on up, slam out. Parasite, the last one standing there, catches a grenade on the cross, and that's going to be a chance for Jabberwockies to hop on A.
The way they're just flowing this out right now, Jabberwockies just flooding that site, getting themselves a lot of time very quickly. They have to go ahead and start looking for something here. Sib trying to go for that flank, not exactly able to pull it out. But we do see them just on both sides of the map as they're really flooding over here on A. Zinx being the only one to hold it out. It's going to take a lot of attention over here to this A side. They could possibly grab a tick or two from B, but not stacking enough to really capitalize that time.
Well, Lord Gaming break at A, but now they have to worry about B. Exactly that. Ramby inside green, able to find a chance on, or a shot onto Sib. Battle back. Haven't even solidified that tick yet, so it is going to be Lord Gaming ability to contest it. Perform.
Wow.
Cuts off that player, and big breaks here from Lord Gaming to keep pace in this control.
Just hedging that site, the way the Decimate was flooding in and out, not able to really find the end. And especially with them now being down 2 lives, they have 2 sites to work with, and none of them really having enough to play with so far, and 40 seconds left on the clock. Jabberwockies not exactly in the best position right now.
Not at all, but here comes the flood. Parasite cuts off Fellow. And he's even gonna duck on down. He knows he's done the damage. He just needs to stay alive. Sib hunts him out. Finds a double kill as well. So it's quite a considerable amount of damage. But in retaliation, Lord Gaming fight back. Clock is gonna be stopped at B by Jabberwockies, and Perform is gonna make that overextension. Finds Sib, dips on out. Can he go again? Take 2 for this player. Looking for Fellow, but everybody turns around for Perform. Now it's Yeez that you need to worry about, and Ramby helps out his teammate. 3 go down for Jabberwockies. You're down to 16 seconds. This is definitely dangerous.
Especially for the likes of Jabberwockies. Now down on lives even more so. 8 seconds to work with. They had to flood the site and pull off a miracle. Technically what Lore Gaming did last round, but this is only to keep the round alive, and better yet than close it.
Lore Gaming close it out in control, 3-1 off the aggression that you saw from their SMG players, giving opportunities to players like Ramby here with the assault rifle just getting behind it. Let me say, when Ramby found the opportunity, he took it and he ran with it. He, in the final best of play, picks up the 74U and re-challenges onto Fellow. So we see Lore Gaming go up 2-1 in their series over Jabberwockies. Teams fighting to stay perfect here in stage 5. Let's hop on over to our next one, Mick. That's going to be back to UT Crew and UYU, tied 1 apiece into this control.
Looking at the way they're just flowing it right now. I mean, being such an even game for the likes of both these squads, especially seeing how the reset had kind of gone through, because we had a long wait over here. But I mean, UIU just running it right now in terms of lives, and especially with them being on the defending side, they're doing a great job of holding.
You have progression at both sides, but really you need to extend the clock for UYU. So you do have the life advantage too. I can't believe the time is so low for them. So A is going to be considerably easily capped now. And now you have life advantage. Or sorry, don't have life advantage. Down by 5. But you have that A site gone.
Indeed, you only have one tick left for B as well. So as long as you can find a flood, you can find one quick little break. Even though the spawns are close enough, if you have 2, 3 guys over there, that's going to be quick enough to really close it out.
We already see the flood catching one player off in basketball courts. Here comes the rest. Noisy doesn't account for a player inside pool as Phantom's able to take him down. UT Crew drop 3 UIU players. Now 3 standing to finish this one off. No respawns for these players. It's do or die in this round for UIU. And you got Jimbo wreaking havoc in your spawn. It's all up to one last player. That's Cruz. 5 and 18. Looking to go perfect here and clutch up. Not going to be the case. In fact, UT Crew closes out, weather the storm with that snowball from site to site, and brilliantly take a first round defense.
Yeah, what a great little end for them right there to find themselves on top of that. I mean, they were just having a great round across the board. Maybe kind of giving up the A side a little bit, but that's totally fine as long as you can find the finish, and they most definitely did. UT Crew keeping themselves alive and doing a great job here today, just across the board, especially when you're facing the likes of UIU. You typically sit there and have a little bit of confidence shut down, knowing that they're going to be racked up in your schedule. But I mean, UT Crew, the way they're just managing every single round and just really giving themselves a fight is one hell of an accolade for them.
Noisy from the middle. He's able to find a archives, but taking off one from the board for UT Crew. You got to hop into this hill. You found yourself over here. So they're going to have players on A and B. Welly sneaks in behind, able to take the pressure off one side. So now you're looking at UIU to flood on in through the choke in basketball courts. Not able to find Jimbo, actually. Rex able to come by for a second one. So UT Crew still a chance to keep B site in their control, as you're going to be pushing for a little bit of map control. Welly has snuck himself in behind again and does the damage too. Looking for a second one here. Finds Phantom somehow. Holy cow, Welly. Make it a third onto Jimbo and take what you reap.
And just what a sweep from him right there to really just clean house up. I mean, UT Crew having to be here on the offense, pushing towards this B side, not exactly getting up, but as we see right here, just holes kind of scattered about for the likes of UIU, which could be kind of not the best situation for your guys, but the way that Noise is coming back in right now, cleaning up this B side once again, and maybe able to find this double as he does. I mean, that alone with 21 seconds on the board, UIU could find themselves an easy first round here.
Yeah, UIU playing cleanup here as they're just running around the site with their SMGs. Jimbo snuck inside courtyard. Noisy, what are those shots as he recovers the Craig? And over to A. You do see a player back van. Archives looking to get them off that. It is able to find that kill, and here comes the rest of UT Crew. Finds 2 onto UIU. Now needs to stop the clock at 11. As A-site seems to be their last fight territory stance. You see the retake coming in from UIU. Cruz leading the way. You have the help behind you, though. One finds Jimbo. Cruz now running in with Noisy. The SMG's tearing it up, but still a chance here. You're losing out on time. You have to run to B now. But who's there? It's Welly and one to stun you out. Still able to get onto a UT Crew. Not done just yet, Mick. 1.6 seconds left. It has to be scary. It looks like UIU are giving up on A.
They're most definitely not finding themselves onto that site and completing it out. They have another minute to play with because that clock was so damn close last time. I mean, this is almost technically a full reset for them as long as they can hurry it up because they're sitting at a 9-9. Having those resets already come in and having them be in the back of the spawn, but Cruz setting them back a pretty good mile there. Jimbo has to pull out nearly a miracle here for his teammates to hold out so they can find their way onto the B side.
Oh, he's chasing. He's cut off from mid. Dylan Rex and Phantoms take 2 down on UIU. It's going to give him a little bit of spacing. Here, 2B. You still have to get those UIU players out of bedrooms. So you're going to flood on in through money. Stop the clock. Now it's time to split your attention onto either side and win your gunfights. And that's exactly what UT Crew are doing. Capturing 1 tick so far. And it's cemented. 3 lives for UIU to get back on the site. Make it 2. UT Crew are on fire right now. They just need to close out onto this round. Jimbo dancing around. 1 4 streak. Make it 5. 6 to close it out. 1 back up there. Able to shut down the streak. But the round looks a little bit out of hands here. 1v3. Diamati's not able to do the justice. And UT Crew connect 2 rounds in a row.
Wow. Especially after such a great search and destroy we saw from the efforts of that. And the hard point beforehand. I mean, they're really just following suit of how well they're performing. Absolutely giving us one hell of a show when it comes around to these sites. Everything is just so damn close in this control matchup. We've seen so many kind of sites get into those last second situations. We see them all dwindling down on lives, pretty darn close to just closing out a round like that. But we see a lot of establishment around the map, a lot of odd picks and odd angles to really just switch the tides.
Off the kickoff. UYU pushing to A. Let's take a look in this. Let's look in. Back to Jabberwockies and Lore Gaming. You're headed to your map for Garrison Hardpoint. Already Lore Gaming continuing what they started off in Raid with quite the lead here, 73-15. But I want to take a look here as UYU are fighting for their lives here on Raid control. But look at Rex finds his way into Zigzag, able to shut down 2. That's map control to the defenders.
Man, great job here. They have to find a little bit more control, though, because, I mean, if you're in UYU's shoes, you need to clean up this map a little bit. You need to find a different angle to come from, because this mid is held out, and you're going to be spending a little bit too much time worried about it. And by the time you've really cleaned house, it's going to be too much past.
Will UYU find some kills? If they can shut down Archives, it's huge. Noisy combines for 2 now, gives them a chance to onto the B site. You know Phantoms is inside basketball courts. You're going to have to force out this player. It's going to be Noisy to take the aggression. Exactly what he does. 3 in a row. Looking to swing for 4. Jimbo ducking inside money now. Going to take on both sides for UYU. It's just map control right now that you're fighting for as UT Crew cut through mid to take down these players. And Jimbo to push Noisy into Phantoms. The UT Crew doing such a good job and make sure that UYU can't get anything started here.
They really got to find a different route to come from as we see him already eyeing it, finding those flanks there in the back. Crew's holding out money. Everybody just kind of stationing themselves closer to the middle of the map because that's where they have to have the hold. But that's going to allow Welly almost a clean little couple picks here in the back, allowing themselves to find some more angles to flood into.
Oh, the Archive's not able to get the shots off. Cruz starts collecting time over at B. 3 go down for UT Crew. Last one standing is Jimbo. Finds the first one. Can he combine for 2? Can't take down 1. So this is A, done and dusted. Snowballing over to B. You already have 2 takes gone. You got to be UT Crew to flood on in. Archives, the first one, finds the kill onto Cruz now. Some good spot for UT Crew to look into now inside Tiki. Archives loses that gunfight. Suddenly it's scary. But you got Phantoms turning up big with a double kill. You're looking at Rex to pick up the 3rd. Exactly what happens. You have to go back to the drawing board.
You most definitely do, because UT Crew doing a great job swinging out right here. Only deal is UYU has a minute 30 to play with on the board to really find themselves on this B site and really only find 1 last tick. So if they can get a clean sweep here with 7 lives, find a way to even out a little bit in terms of how many players you have to play with, that alone could be enough for them. And as they're trying to find these flanks around the edge, they're actually picking off some UT Crew members to get themselves that evened out.
Still have a life advantage. Suddenly gone. This game is marginally tied in the round. Welly may have found that opening. No respawns left for UT Crew. Just need to group up for UYU and take this hit together. Phantoms letting himself be known. Has to stay alive here. Has to do some damage as well. In the meantime, spots Wand over the shoulder. And UYU lose out on 2. So now UT Crew in the driver's spot here. This has to be some heroics from UYU to keep them in it. Welly combining with his teammate to find 2. 2v2 on the site. 30 seconds left. It's go time if you're UYU. Welly's looking to open this one up. Shot punch. Able to get into the mix. 1v2.
Oh.
UYU takes it.
Keeping themselves alive by a narrow margin at that. Really just having themselves something going here, because the way this is panning out for them, they didn't exactly have the best runs up to this point, but finding that close, that could be enough, as this really was keeping them alive and control, because that alone was going to give, I mean, NT Crew one hell of a lead in terms of series to go back to that hard point. So they are on their chairs praising in higher power right now to keep themselves in this game.
Neck and neck in that round between these two teams, but it's UYU looking to keep this one going. On defense now. And you get 2 together. We just saw Trash Bros do this earlier. And on defense, you're really keeping your eyes on Welly here. Finding the route with Noisy. All the way into the back. Will UT Crew expect this? It looks like they've spotted the players. Welly needs to just find these streaks, really. They're so important to the success of UYU. That's a good start. Takes it 6. Working on 7 now to get that artillery strike. And Welly's able to find it. So he has that artillery strike. Now it's cruise missile time. Can you get the second one? You cannot. So UT Crew may have given up streaks, but you're finding the A site.
And you don't exactly give up too much. Only issue with that is you have given up your teammates. You've given up a little bit of a life deficit, because while, I mean, Welly was popping off himself, the rest of his guys weren't exactly finding too much across the field. And especially when they're on the defense, that's allowing UT Crew to find themselves a break, which was such an easy A1 for them.
Look at Welly trying to be that guy again. You know Jimbo's in money, just dancing around down to 42 health. You give it up to your teammate to take that gunfight, and Jimbo is uprooted. A is gone, so you're able to just tunnel vision to the B site if you're UYU and maintain control of one half at this point.
Way they're painting this out. I mean, they got to play it a little bit slow if you're in the likes of UYU, but I mean, when UT Crew really being on the aggro here, finding themselves some different angles to come out, especially for the middle of the map, trying themselves a little bit of pressure across the board. That's exactly what they're going to need if they're going to follow something up and really get themselves going, because as we see now, Dylan finally finding himself over there in the back. He's just waiting on the rest of his guys to follow up so they can actually get some quick time rather than stalling out himself.
Oh, Rex was on 5, but he's forced out by Welly and Noisy. So they get control of B back. What a shot from Welly as well. Cruz keeping control of Courtyard. And the stick onto Rex. He's got a QB arm with that grenade. Suddenly 4 life lead for UYU. Cruz is finding a little bit of positioning inside that Courtyard. You see Willie's being such a quiet snake over here at B. Or over at A. Not able to find anything from it. So UT Crew are going to put the pedal to metal to get what they've taken. Cruz on an island and Noisy deep in the enemy territory.
Themselves really getting onto this site, finding themselves in and out. And this is as darn near as close as it gets because we now have 30 seconds left on the board. UT Crew needs to make a push. And as we see all the UYU guys, they are stacked on top of the site. But the break over there in the back, that may be enough from Dylan Rex to really get themselves to close this out.
You just need to get a few kills, and brilliant nade from Wand. Jimbo on 24 health. He is going to be forced out by Noisy. Down to 9 seconds left. You got to put a player onto the side of your UT Crew. You need to stop this clock, but first you have to get here. And Rex cut down. It's up to player number 7. Jimbo can't touch down. UYU. Send us to a round number 5, Mick.
That alone, man. They found something that works for them on control. I mean, that's kind of how typically UIU's been going today. They've been really a lot more answers than they have been, you know, really upfront establishment and force. And I got to say, that's not typically their style, but they're managing as much as they can with it because they're finding themselves a flow. It's always just seemed to be a little bit behind the cut. So, I mean, if these guys turn up into high gear, get themselves into 6th gear, and really just pedal to the metal, there could be just a sweep coming up from them. There could be a storm that's on the brew.
For anybody wondering, over on that Garrison, take a little bit of a second. Lore Gaming are on the brink of closing this one out. 227 on this hard point as they are up 2-1 as well in the series. So this could be it if they find it, but Jabberwocky's looking to stay alive. Taking it back to this control. Mick, round number 5. Who is going to take the lead in the series?
I don't know, UT Crew's having one hell of a start, but UIU also had a great little cleanup. And as we see him moving to the other side of the map, if Juan can find these 2 picks as it gets 1, I think it's definitely possible for UIU to go ahead and find a way to reverse sweep this.
We just saw UIU successfully hold off on a defense. Jimbo tucked away in the corner. Cruz knows exactly where they are. A little bit of aggression for the first tick gun in on B. But here come the shrieks from Welly. Jimbo caught off Noisy for the follow-through. Rex now on an island inside Tiki. Do they know he's here? I don't think they do. Rex peeks on out, finds 2 on a cruise and 1. And suddenly that's go ahead to get onto this B site and close it off. It's all up to Welly. Can he find these kills? He cannot, so B is gone.
Wow, what a great take there. And this is really when the games get interesting is if you have an A side on the line instead of a B, because the way A works is so much more established and up front. As we see, I mean, it's the number 1 point. It's P1 for Hardpoint. And the way everything follows out is just a constant influx of action over there. So as we got to see, UT Crew has to make a pretty good rotation here, but instead they all get kind of closed out and closed off. And that's going to put them at a pretty big life deficit here to go ahead and get on the side if they really are going to get in that combat that we can expect.
Yeah, you took B, but look at the lives it costed you. It cost you 6 life lead. Now make it a 7 life lead. Just to get that site, and you're tucked away all the way in your spawn. You're fighting past Noisy. You can't even get past this Titan. 34 and 36. Almost 70 interactions between one player. On a 5 spray as well. Noisy tucked away inside this garage. Playing for straights for himself as he forces UT Crew to take him out now. Looking to push through Boulevard here into the hands of Welly. The next player up to T or UYU. But he's going to call in a little bit of help here.
You see him calling in a little bit of help indeed because he needs those assists. They have to find themselves UT Crew on a site, and they have to get on this A, and especially with these guys of UIU set up here in the middle, absolutely just peeking the hell out of those arches and trying to find as much as they can. That's going to be that big factor, but we see a break actually come through with 47 seconds left. But UT Crew's only sitting on 7 lives, so they have to make the most of these. They have to win literally probably a 3-to-1 ratio while being on the site, and with them not being on it right now, that's probably going to close it out for UIU.
Noisy, almost finding 2 there through the wall. No respawns left for UT Crew, and UIU are well on their way to taking this control and taking the lead in this series. It's up to just taking down these last 4 players. You got 23 seconds left for UT Crew just to make anything happen, and they do not look inspired to push through Art. All up to the last one. Archives inside pillars. He's cut down by Welly. UIU do it. Battling back from an 0-2 here on raid control. They win 3 rounds in a row to take the lead in the series 2-1.
Man, just red to blue, left to right. They are just absolutely closing it out. And I got to say, they played that A side a hell of a lot better than they played that B side, especially giving it up there in the end. But I mean, it worked for them. It was definitely a different, pace of flow, the way everything was kind of panning out for UIU, and for them to get that reverse sweep. Really just a great attempt from them there to just kind of flip the tables.
We've seen quite the chaotic day number 2 so far in the Challenger Elites. UIU obviously just taking that control to lead their series 2-1 over their opponents of UT Crew. And if you were paying any attention to the picture, you saw Lore Gaming close out over the Jabberwockies 3-1 as well. So they're going to be moving 3-0 in the Challenger Elites, putting Jabberwockies on their first loss as they're moving 2-1. We're going to cut to a little bit of a break as we've been going for quite a little bit. So when we come back, we're going to hop right into our next matchup. Stay tuned for some more Challenger Elites. Welcome back, everybody, to the Challengers Elite Stage 5 community stream over here on IHOLDSHIFT. We're hopping back in with UYU and UT crew. UYU up 2-1 in the series, heading into raid Hardpoint, Mick. This is so exciting. Back-to-back raids.
Yeah, and especially the way they kind of really come back. UYU put themselves back on the map, especially back on the map raid. And now that we're back on this Hardpoint, we got to see if they can really answer after UT crew having one heck of a real Hardpoint on the first round.
And they do get the rotation series. See Cruz locking down Kitchen. Oh, Noisy might be in a spot to trump this retake or this take here. Finds Phantoms in behind. Rex all alone, cut off by one. UYU weather the storm.
Boy, they're just holding this out. UYU finding an answer, getting the rotations in. Being here on P2, it really just not only comes down to this side, but how they can hold the next one to find themselves a really good, solid lead. Because, I mean, UT crew, they've done a great job holding out. Noisy not doing as well as a job holding out that side, but Welly's there to make up for it. And as we're now sitting at 30 seconds, this is where we may start looking at these holes on the opposite side of the map, as Juan's already going to be eyeing for it.
Man, this is really the wonder story for UYU, as they're making the magic happen here in Stage 5. This is 3 out of the 4 players' first time showing up here in the elite stage, and they're making so much noise, looking to go 3-0 in the second day against UT crew here. An amazing story. Can't help but love to see it. However, UT crew looking to bounce back over an end to Stage 4 that they really didn't want, as they move in 2 players back into the roster, Jimbo and Archives. Looking for the first win here off this series. Need to force a map 5.
Yeah, the way they're just doing it right now. A lot of back and forth from both sides. I mean, the way these guys are holding it out, but UIU actually being the one to come out on top here, as they did have that kind of early lead, doing a much better job when it came around to defense and getting these trades. And that's going to reset UIU, as they're going to find themselves a little bit of a lead here and possibly another 20 seconds if they can get these closes out. And it's going to look like with these picks on the board right now, it's going to happen.
Another 4 down for UT crew. They have to rotate over to basketball court, and Cruz is here, laying in wake. UYU looking to do even more damage, but Phantoms checks the right angle. And Archives backing him on up. So 3 go down on the rotation here. UT crew are going to collect some time right away.
And the way they're just moving on with this, UT crew doing a great job getting across the map. It really just comes down to how they hold out, and Dylan giving Cruz a piece of his mind right there. Great little pick from them to race at 1 there in the back. That's going to slow them down a little bit as they try and take this Kitchen.
Oh.
But with the answers back and forth, Willie able to find the assist from Juan. This could flip these sides and really get them onto the over here. But UT crew having the better of the spawns.
UT crew still on the spawns, definitely. UYU break on in. Noisy taking the first gunfight, able to find one in the trophy system, kills the secondary. So UYU hop into the sale now, collecting all the time that they could ask for with the remaining 30 seconds. Jimbo, the next one up to the plate, and Noisy strikes him out. So in control now, UYU looking to take the rest of this time. UT crew are going to go for another hit here, and Rex leading the way with Phantoms right behind him. And Noisy finds another one. Welly helps him out. UYU are playing this so well.
A great little follow-up there from the boys to get over there on the outside. I love how they're already going to set up for that P1, get that peak on a P5, because this transition, picking up that scrap, getting there into the middle, they have to find these picks over here on the edge for one to make a move, because this man is going to have to work miracles by himself if he's going to get on this site and take it.
Noisy's 5 in a row. Can't make it 6. Phantoms ends the streaks. Finally, UT crew find a flurry of kills and look for some map control here. It's heading into Courtyard, and it's marginally an even game, a 10-point difference really between these 2 teams. Rax now accumulating a couple kills in a row, 2 to his name. You see Archives swings around the corner, able to take down 2. UT crew shutting down UYU now, ending the momentum that they gained.
Having enough to go on the board and possibly carry it across the map, as we see him just grabbing these picks towards Laundry, giving up the rest of the side there in the mid, as we see possibly a pick trying to come in from Welly, but it's not going to be enough, as we see the rest of these guys charging in, actually just completely giving up that site rather than just focusing on P1 up next.
Phantoms plays that so well. He has the SMG in the back pocket on a 5 spray. Can't make it streaks, though, so still nobody getting those score streaks in the back pocket. You're going to see UT crew, though, with the lead going into the second set of rotations. And the pinch from Rex is perfect. He finds 2 in the middle of the map. That's going to give UT crew a little bit of real estate into Art. Jimbo pushes the aggression, finds 3 in a row. They actually flip these spawns. They get a split spawn from UYU. Noisy might be able to do some damage with his team. The pinch is successful. They get right back into the site.
That they do is they find themselves also with 30 seconds still left on it. So there's more than enough for them to work with to find not only a tie game, but a lead on top of that. If they can hold this out long enough, they have to go ahead and start eyeing kitchen, though, because UT Crew set up over here in the back with the advantage on the spawns. They definitely have a little bit more momentum into their favor as we see them trying to rotate here to the middle.
Noisy on 5. Looking to bring the first set of score streaks into right Hardpoint. Looking to just maintain control, though, into the back line. You see UT Crew win the first couple of gunfights inside kitchen. They're going to have a 5-point lead. Rex cuts off the first player. Noisy loses out on the Shrieks. Phantoms is going to be the culprit. And now you're looking at the front of the hill here from UYU for this break. You see one setting up, but still players a little bit behind. Has Welly and Noisy here now for this pinch. The flood's going to come on in. They have to make it through these players. Already fighting Phantom. Jimbo goes down. 2 out of the mix for UT Crew. Make it 3 down. All 4 go down. A big break from UYU.
Huge break at that, especially having 28 left still on the board. The only issue is when you have that 1 minute allocated towards the back, UT Crew having that lead, they're going to go ahead and start looking for these rotations. And Archives getting those picks over there in the back, but getting answered out. That's going to be enough, especially if Noisy can win this gunfight.
Oh my!
He does find one, not able to get the other. They are going to have this reset towards the other side of the map as UT Crew is going to be on the one still spawning towards kitchen side.
Graduated into elites now. Noisy having one hell of a tournament. Really making waves here in stage 5. Finds another one onto Jimbo on that rotation to garage. So it is going to be UYU the first ones here, and looking to make sure that they stay the first ones here as the rotation's coming in for UT Crew. This hit coming out. Stalled out again and again. Rex now into the mix. Noisy from behind. Phantoms is able to get into the mix as well. Back and forth these teams go into the hill. Crews. Last one standing 3v1. Archives cuts him down, so UT Crew break on it.
Man, what a great break from at that, especially having to run cross map, you know, make the most of that time. The way they just flux in from every single angle, getting themselves the picks and winning those individual fights and just carrying it out, still winning these out on such an efficient manner. I mean, that alone is what's giving them this lead, but UYU just doing the more dominant force as we see Cruz getting the pick right there. They have to go ahead and follow up with that and get onto this P3 because, or P4, excuse me, because as we see right now, Willie and Cruz making their way on, and Phantoms actually not getting the best right there.
If you call back a little bit onto the last basketball hill, that's exactly where Cruz was. So Phantoms can't make it work either. Noisy now on the cutoff, getting in behind these players, knows they're inside jungle. Player to his right, checks the left one. Unfortunate timing for Noisy, but perfect for UT Crew on their break now. With player advantage, they're flooding on in. Phantoms to lead the way. Welly's going to be the first one to drop him. UYU take down 3, a one-on-one for the site. Archives versus Welly. Inside the queue, Welly gets the better of him.
Man, what a great start here from them, holding it out, absolutely getting this momentum onto their side. I mean, they've kind of been a little bit slow element these past couple points, but now they are just finding their flow as we see UYU once again doing what they've done best, finding an answer, just running with it, and possibly finding the lead, especially with the end of the game. So close here.
A lead change again, Mick, here in the last set of time for UYU. Now gonna put themselves within striking points of a victory. Welly gets streaks. Artillery strike is claimed, and he is gonna rain it down onto these UT Crew players. Looking to tumble on into the courtyard. Jimbo gonna end this one out. Is able to find Welly. Slows it down for the site, but getting time is gonna be Noisy. Can't win out of the gunfights though. One's up next. Stays able to find one, but not the second one. So UT Crew into the mix, into the site. Archives the next one up. UYU setting up for this breakthrough zigzag.
A surprise about the follow-up there from the artillery strike, not getting those picks on the center. You're not going to be checking the edges enough, especially getting the guys popped off over there towards P1, kind of giving that up. They have to find an answer on this one because UT Crew can go ahead and close up the game right here, and Jimbo's still just camping it out. Noisy able to find that pick. They may make the break right here.
Noisy! He finds Archives. He's into the hill. Swapping over to Rex, has a D-Body, able to find a second one now. 6 seconds left for UYU to put it home, and it's all Noisy in the kill feed. 2 seconds left. UYU take the hard point, and they win the series 3-1 to go 3-0 in Challenger Elite Stage 5, keeping the Wonder run steady.
Man, and just the way they came back and answered. UT Crew, we thought they were going to have something on the board here, doing a great job of, coming right from that 0-2 kind of start they had. And they've definitely showed that they're warming up a little bit. But UIU being your one opponent, being the guys that is on your schedule, and you're a little bit scared going into it, they're there for a reason, and they had that kind of reputation on their backs. And the way they just really closed it out right there, constantly finding answers, always kind of being at a little bit of a deficit, but bringing it out there in the end to close it out. That's really what matters, is they now found themselves 3-1 and having one hell of a series on their hands.
Man, Mick, I love Call of Duty Challengers. It is so electric, and you can see the passion, how much these players want it. UIU played that so well, and it doesn't stand against UT Crew. I mean, UT Crew were right into it as well. They were so close to taking this series as well. Right, sending it to a map number 5. It's just finishing out on your series is really the thing that's stumping this UT Crew squad. So when you're looking at these teams, UT Crew is going to drop to 0-3, and UIU booming their stocks to a 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, just goodness. And being absolutely undefeated at this stage in the game, especially, here on the second day. What a hell of a start for these guys, and I can't wait to see them continue it out and find a way to be a little bit more consistent from start to finish.
Well, as we get our next matchup set up, Mick, we're going to throw it to a quick little break, so stay tuned for some more Challengers community stream. Folks, welcome back. We're hopping right back into another matchup, Lore Gaming and Trash Bros. Map number 1, Garrison Hardpoint. Once again, it's myself, Seymour, alongside Mick on the comms. Here to bring you your entertainment, Mick. It's been an electric night here. How are you feeling about this series?
I'm feeling right here that we're going to see a little bit of redemption for the likes of Trash Bros. As Lore Gaming absolutely have one hell of an open. And these guys from Trash Bros, they are no sleepers by any means. And I'm excited to see them finally catch a little bit of momentum, as it seems as though they were a little bit asleep on that first series.
Well, Lore Gaming inside qualifiers, you're really seeing them that they're picking up the pace now, but the only losses that they had were really the 3 teams that were ahead of them, as they were the number 4 team going into it. But now, into the site, Perform eats a nade to the face. Big break from Trash Bros. You see, Yuli gets into the site, and honestly, with Lore Gaming picking up on the 3rd spawns, it's not the worst case.
By no means necessary, is it? Especially how they're getting out these trades. You know, Trash Bros find themselves a little bit more time holding it out. And Lore, looking like they have a pretty quick answer here, as Trash Bros still has a pretty quick reset over there in the back, as they still have the spawns advantage.
Lee gets back into it, able to find 2. Can he connect 3? Yeez shuts him out. So Lore Gaming keep the lead to a minimum of 2. Rotating over to the 3rd hill. You know how big this one is, Mick.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's literally a cornerstone of a site. And for you to go ahead and get those rotates in early, which it looks like Lore can kind of manage here, picking off the rest of the Trash Bros squad, with Mock still being the only one holding out here. You got 49 seconds over in that corner site. You see Trash Bros trying to get that rotate. I mean, they basically have free real estate, it's looking like right now.
Exactly that. Perform back on another 3 sprees. He's 8-4 in this hardpoint, having quite the showing on this SMG roll. But Yuli able to get an opening now. Apollo working the spawns. Can he find Rambi in the back? He can. Yuli from the front as well. They're setting up for a perfect pinch simultaneously. 3 out for Lore Gaming. And here comes Trash Bros swinging on in with the chance. Yuli's not able to find Perform. It's still Lore Gaming holding up. Mock cuts him out. Gets the pinch from Hollow as well. And really just back and forth. But it's still somehow Lore keeping Trash Bros off this hill.
Doing that exactly one hell of a manner, as they just keep on holding it out. Going ahead and opting to just cut their losses with the lead there. Trying to find that rotate a little bit quicker. Not let Trash Bros find any kind of scrap time as they're going to be across the map. Trying to find their way over here. But Mock having one kind of a cheeky angle over here if he can capitalize on it. And he does, as the rest of the guys are fragging out the squad as well.
Into this garbage hill. You do see that Lore Gaming. They're into the mix. Winning their gunfights. Looking to take their lead to triple digits. Mick. As he's holding on this time, he saw how good he was against Jabberwockies, and not slowing down here either. 12-9 on a 2 spree.
Is that exact?
His team's sliding out. Yeez gets in the green. Player to his right. Hollow expects it. Holy
Jesus
crap,
Christ.
Yeez. 3 in a row. On a 5 spree. Can't make it 6.
But I mean, it's not to really get these guys on a reset and allow the rest of your boys to follow up, as we see everyone else trying to surround the site, trying to get on there and find those rotations, find a little bit more momentum and area to play with in the vicinity, but not exactly enough to really follow through, as we have Trash Bros with one quick of an answer, and Lore answering themselves as they get a full team wipe.
Yeez gives Mock a high 5. Says, see you later, bud. I want this game right now. 3 triple digits for Lore, and they are keeping the train trucking. Perform soaking up the time before he dips on into Brick. Losing his life to Mock. As Jay and Troy gets himself onto this hill. 4-13, not really having a great game. Able to make it 5. And Trash Bros struggling here as they're starting to get a deficit that's a little bit hefty. Now's the time to answer back.
There is really what they need. Being down 50 points right now against these guys of Lore who are on a hot streak right now. I mean, they have to find something. They need some kind of answer, even in terms of rounds, points. Finding a tie at least would be enough to manage for them, as they are going back and forth here in terms of kills. They're not exactly finding enough on time, because we do see that point coming through the rotation and only 1 second left. I mean, I feel like Lore has a little bit more of an advantage in terms of how the map's going to flow out, being able to storm in here.
Jintroid finds another one, but opening now to platform. Rambi finds that kill. You see the spawns in the back for Lore Gaming on the right side, but a split spawn. You see the players pinching it from the left. Jintroid, the cutoff player, is he able to find Parasite? He is not. So Parasite's going to get into it, but Hollow's ready for it. See, back and forth, Lore Gaming. Just keeping their foot into it. Nobody on the hill right now. Perform is going to get himself into the time. Tuck himself away in the corner. Mock hunting him down, able to uproot these players off the hill. So nobody collecting anything right now. It's just map control these players are seeking.
And that's exactly the name of the game when it comes to Hardpoint. Getting those rotations through, going ahead and finding your cheeky little angles to hold out on. And Lore just doing a much better job of it as they only have 10 seconds left on the site, but that's damn near enough for them to really hold it out because they're already sitting at half over the threshold that you need to close out this map. And the way they're doing it's pretty dang efficient, especially if they can make the crossover scaffolding with Yeez grabbing this pick here and brick.
Sometimes he seems unstoppable. There, gets stopped early. Not able to find the momentum to carry this one forward, and Trash Bros in full control of this second site. They're setting up on this power angle for Hollow, and you know how dangerous he can be on the AR roll? Just need Mock to really hold off on these back spawns, but he's getting pinched out. Brilliant shots from Parasite. There's an opening to the back line. Parasite finds two, and here comes the flood. Yeez gets cut off, but the damage has been done. 3 out, make it 4 for Trash Bros. As Lore Gaming, a huge break now back into the mix.
And the way this is set up right now, Trash Bros is definitely sitting comfy for that P3, but for P2, they have to make one heck of a push here. As we see them getting the picks, I think they're really just settling on finding the lockdown on the other side of the map as we see Yeez possibly being the one man to make that break. Because, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. He's a one-man army himself, and if he can find this, go ahead and grab those spawns as well. Getting knocked out by Gendroid right there, not exactly the best note for them to end on, with this side being at 1 and the new one starting. I think this may be where Trash Bros can find themselves at a tie game if they can go ahead and close out Perform here in the back.
Gendroid, since calling him out, really, he was, what, 4 and 15, now 12 and 21. So finding a few kills to his name, bringing this one on back, and you can really give it to Gendroid, finding a little bit of momentum under his feet for the comeback that Trash Bros have accumulated now. It's only a 50-point lead, and you know that how fast it could be cut down with 32 seconds still left. Yeez trying to get in for Lore Gaming. Brilliance from Gendroid again to stop the SMG player from getting in.
The way they're holding this out, man, they're doing one heck of a job. They finally found that rotation across the map. They made the most of getting locked down those spawns, found a little bit of contention for themselves to kind of close out that gap from Lore. And the way they're just stacking time on this site for P3, especially with how close it's going to be to this next one. Lore set up on the opposite side of the map are exactly parallel to them, which isn't exactly the best shoes to be in when you can go ahead and already be set up.
Hollow doesn't spot Parasite right underneath him. Parasite's just being a sneaky snake back there. Still taken out by Yuli. Not able to make anything with the positioning that he had. And Trash Bros flipped the map as well. So they get the better spawns technically for Garbage Hill. They're just not winning the gunfights. So you can give it to Perform here. Finds a multi-kill of 3. That's going to get Lore Gaming right back onto this hill. Now 170 and 30 seconds left on this hill time. They're looking to break 200.
They're holding this out, just completely making work of these guys at Trash Bros. Lore just holding this hill, getting the kills. I mean, they're doing it all right now, and just the way they're doing it in such a monumentous fashion. Finding those rotations across the map, getting those spawns shifted a little bit towards the favor of the next side they got coming up. Gendroid having some form of an answer, trying to get on this site. With all those trophy systems set up, it doesn't seem like there's going to be too much of a break with only 2 seconds remaining. And Trash Bros just going to have to keep on pushing.
Man, Lore Gaming is so impressive tonight. I mean, since that first map on Jabberwockies, that Ramby really underperformed, and everybody that Lore Gaming has been on point in day 2. Now 204 to 134. They have a preferred spawns for hill number 5. It's Gendroid though, causing a little bit of a ruckus inside of Lights. As he's last one up for the forward positioning of Trash Bros. He's looking to keep these Lore players off the hill. You look at Perform, looking to run this route as the backline has 2 players to worry about. Yuli's going to slide out on him, find an important kill, but the rest in unison going to truck on through. 3 down for Trash Bros. Mock needs to turn up big here.
Yeah, clean sweep for the likes of Lore Gaming. I mean, what an answer from the likes of getting shut down on P3 earlier, but they now got the most of P4. P5, they are absolutely just locking down, it seems like. Trash Bros managing somewhat of an answer. They need to go ahead and get these rotations down. And with Ramby already set up, if he can go ahead and find these picks, they're going to be sitting probably ending the match here.
I just can't highlight Gendroid anymore. He's now 22 and 26. He had 4 kills and 16 deaths at one point. But it's still not enough for Trash Bros. They're not winning the hills. And you look, 4 go down again for Trash Bros. Lore Gaming can put this one away. 20 seconds needed. You see Hollow has a good opportunity to break on in. Can't finish off on Perform. He's going to leave it to Yuli. have to get into the mix. 14 seconds left for Lore Gaming to take map number 1. Hollow has to hop up to contest, but Ramby's going to be ready for it. Yuli on the flank, but he finds nobody, and Yeez is able to cut him off. Lore Gaming are playing this perfectly. With 3 seconds left, nobody will be able to touch. Lore Gaming put away map number 1 with fundamental hardpoint play styles.
Yeah, what a start for P1 and what an end on it as well. The way that Lore just kind of started off the map, they had the same kind of capitalization as they did the punctuation there at the end. Just being completely consistent across the board and being fluent at the same time. Giving these guys enough to really give themselves a lead, and we've seen them on Hardpoint, especially them on Search, and the way they just absolutely dominated the last time around. That makes it super concerning when you're trying to deal with them and knowing that's what's coming up next.
I mean, and you're looking at Trash Bros as that sorry. Yeah, you're looking at Trash Bros as that team to kind of like pull this one back and Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
You know how experienced they can be, and you need to slow it down because you're trying to go toe to toe with players like Yeez in that and perform in that game, but they just had a leg up over you every single time. And you know that, I mean, Trash Bros aren't a team to kind of look over. You know they can win their gunfights, and they were. I mean, by all means, you saw all players at one point had 20 kills on Trash Bros. It's just they weren't winning on the objective. They weren't getting the kills that mattered. They're just winning separate gunfights here and there. They weren't getting the important ones on the objective, and that was costing them. And you got to give it to the likes of Lore Gaming in that sense that they're able to separate and win and take gunfights all over while maintaining that core control of the objective.
Yeah, I mean, it was super interesting to see, and they have such a unique approach when it comes to the game. The way and the angles that they really hold out, the kind of way they shift themselves towards suicide rather than your typical transition. It's super kind of, it's an optimal setup for them, and it's working it's working so well for them like a machine, and it's just absolutely just catching everybody off guard. And it doesn't really feel like it's too easy to react to or really adapt around because it's just their kind of own spiel.
Well, as you can see above me, it looks like UYU are going up against Built by Gamers now as they're hopping into their lobby. It looks like we're going to hop over with their matchup. So really, we're keeping the storyline together for UYU as they're looking to stay perfect in stage 5, Mick, as they had quite the last matchup. I mean, BBG, we've known them to be that team that they either turn up or they don't. It's a hit or miss when it comes to BBG. So which team are we going to see today or right now in this series? I know UYU's been consistent ever since the start of stage 5 elites, so they're looking to keep it forward. Garrison Hardpoint, map number 1. How are you feeling?
I feel like Built by Gamers, the way they've been playing thus far and the kind of momentum they have on their table. I know you guys are kind of eyeing UYU here, but I feel like BBG really has something to bring to the table because UYU, they've been very adaptable. They've been playing the game a lot differently where they kind of answer there in the further ends, but the way that Built by Gamers just starts up, it's so much more rougher than you'll see from the rest of these teams.
Well, there's an answer to my question, Mick. Which Built by Gamers are we going to see? 5 kills in a row for this squad as they get full control of this map. Carter X forward positioning. Noisy expects it, shuts down the streak that he's accumulated, but on point. Pander 4-0 so far for the start of this hard point, and he is looking good right now. Can he make it 5? He cannot. The nade's going to catch him off.
Man, that's super unfortunate, but the way everybody's popping up here, we see your typical guys right now. Pander, God, and Kismet just going off, doing what they do best. The UIU finally finding themselves the first answer, getting a little bit of scrap time here, but BBG already rotated out and just sitting comfy on these bricks, finding time right off the rip.
One sneaks himself into the back. Quick 36 on the time, and One's finding the important kills now. Looking to flip these spawns, exactly what he does. And UYU gonna get some momentum under their feet now to break on in, except look at Kismet, snuck himself in behind one, not even expecting it. These 5 and 2, and Built by Gamers are steady set up to hold off on point 2.
Oh, most definitely. The way they're doing this all right now, just really getting themselves a run for their money, and BBG just keeping this aggression on the board. And Kismet finds another. He's on a 4 streak right now, and if he can keep this going, I'm sure these guys are going to be sitting super comfortable, especially with that P3. If he can find it before then, being such an open site, as long as you can go ahead and get a little bit of push from your teammates, you can capitalize on that so easily.
Welly, going to catch off some players on the rotation. Able to find Pander now. Very worried of behind him, though, as he needs to be looking the other way. As Noisy has his back so far, but still the pinch coming out. Pentagram able to take him down. You're looking at Noisy for the team kill and the finisher for Pentagram. You got 50 seconds still on this hard point. Flood coming in from Lights. Got Rex and Kismet take down 1. Here comes the Flood. Kismet on 5, playing for streaks as well, so you got to keep that in the back of your mind. But here comes the answer back. Kismet, these are such important kills. You need to come away with them. I mean, you've taken so long to get them. This would be huge. Well, the trophy system saved him there.
Yep. Absolutely just clutched there from the trophy system. Man, didn't exactly do too much because it's just a part of the game, but the positioning right there, utilizing those kind of objects that also have a hitbox of their own to your advantage. I mean, it's one of the things in the games. We see it even in all kinds of titles. And the way they're holding it out, the way they're taking the most of this, and Kismet actually getting closed out right there as he was so close to that next streak.
Rex has found himself in a really good spot to catch these players off in the rotation again to break on out of Dark. And he does peek on out, takes them down. UIU still spotting up point 3. Not dangerous this one could be for some teams, so let's see if Built by Gamers can take this advantage and run with it. See, Noisy has found his way into the back, spots out Panda, combines for 2. Here comes the Flood. Well, he finds a 3rd for UIU. Now, Pentagram's the last one standing inside green. He's going to drop on down to recuperate with this team and regroup for this retake. Exactly what's starting right now. Pentagram able to find 1, but the cutoff players for UIU doing their jobs, doing them very well.
Indeed, especially looking at Kismet right here, getting a double and finding himself across the map, trying to get this pick onto Cruz, really just buying out time for his guys as they're not going to really go off on it, but GodRx will find one to keep themselves on the site, and this is where they really just find that transition, as they had the much better positioning for this site.
Built by Gamers are running away so far with this lead. It's the exact same thing from Lore Gaming in the game ahead of them. I mean, they had such a big lead to start this one off, and they didn't give it up. So you need to see UIU to start connecting some hills, or else this might be a little bit out of hand.
Completely agree. I mean, the way they have to just kind of play this out, they need to go ahead and get a little more on the table, and UIU finding a little bit of seconds there, not enough to really matter in the big scheme of things. They have to find momentum. They can't just find points. They can't just find kills. They have to find momentum and find a way to steamroll themselves a little bit more, because BBG is just absolutely running away with this right now.
Few kills for UIU now. Cruz is caught off by Pander, back on a 5 spree after his flurry in the start. See if he can connect with some. You have Kismet with that artillery strike, so Panda can get streaks of his own. You're just going to be taking your arsenal even larger. Kismet gets in behind, able to find 2. Can he make it a 3rd on the 1? He's not able to. But even still, Kismet doing exactly what he needs to do. 18-9, you cannot complain.
Oh my God, by no means. I mean, having that 2.0 KD, especially on the likes of Hardpoint, when everything's constantly hectic, you know, you have guys coming at all angles of you constantly. I mean, the way they're just painting this out, holding themselves a lead, knowing when to cut their losses. They have such a strong lead right here. As you see Pander, he's just going to say, all right, screw it. We're going to hold out on the P2. I'll go ahead and hop on here. You guys just create a little bit of contention, create a little bit of chaos there in the middle, and Kismet is on the job.
I mean, as well as looking for that 1 kill for streaks for Pander, so Noisy has to be careful of what he's given up. Able to drop on down, take down Kismet. Able to find a 2nd on the Pentagram as well, so breaks the hill. Nobody on UIU getting on. They know how important it is to now get control of the site, and here comes Wetley inside the mix, shuts down the streaks for Pander, and you do have to flank, and the kill's going the way of UIU. They completely break on into the 2nd site.
The job of it as well, finding themselves a little bit more time on the board, getting themselves to half of that of what Built by Gamers has. So I mean, these guys, especially the way they're holding out this site, they just have a man gathering time. They're all fighting over there on the edge, just making sure to keep the battle away from that site, not even letting the real battle come to it, because if they find those picks, they can still find a little bit of extra seconds. But we see BBG finally making a little bit more of a shift towards the site with it having 35 seconds left. They could get a little bit on the board, but not enough really to kind of counter the artillery strike, kind of stalling them out.
So Welly put his running shoes on to avoid the artillery strike. So a streak off the board for BBG. And I think that was the only streak they had as well. So that's huge for UIU as they've cut this lead down completely right back into this Garrison hardpoint. Look at Kismet here on screen. It's got in, but Cruz is watching his teammate's shoulder as you're just struggling to get back into it. Finally, they break the hill. But UIU, oh, that's unfortunate. They get a split spawn all the way in deep left side of the minimap.
Just enough for them to really keep this going for their favor, as they've had one hell of a comeback up to this point, putting themselves just far behind. But BBG finally stepping up, saying, all right, we can't give up too much. I know we gave up that P1, but we can't give up everything and let them take this lead. So the way they're holding this out, P3 a little bit too easy to hold down for them, but they're not really grabbing enough time off this. They're kind of weaving in and out, trying to check all these corners and make sure too much of a push doesn't come through.
30 seconds still left on the second hill. You clean up Cruz in the back line. Now you just got to take your eyes to the front. All angles looking at that. Kismet finds 2. Kismet finds 3. Welly's out of it as well, and Cruz is nowhere close to contesting. That is going to be that hill done. You're looking at garbage now. This is important for UYU to hold into it. They didn't do so well last time on this set. And you're not winning on the gunfights either. Built by Gamers are built different on Garrison right now. They flipped the spawns too to make matters worse for UYU.
Yeah, and just holding out all this time at the same time, man. Just having that 50 seconds left, knowing that they're already hitting 200 right here, darn near guaranteed. I mean, you have Kismet fall right there. Nobody left onto the site. UYU actually having an answer, and a little bit late there from the likes of GodRx, as he does eventually find that pick, but it's a little bit too late to follow up and get the trades for his team.
A little bit of a bunk ahead, but only a little bit. So UYU able to battle back in. And then continuing to make the magic happen. I mean, UYU's clutch factor is so big. You can never count them out. They're going to get 20 seconds. This is the last time. It doesn't look like anybody on Built by Gamers are going to recontest it. So they're going to be only down by 20, it seems like. But Kismet's found his way to the back. I did not account for him. And 3 go down for UYU. Make it all 4. Built by Gamers back in the driver's seat again. And UYU have to be sweating down by 50.
Oh, they're definitely sweating a little bit right now because, I mean, they're back in the stage they were before, and they know that they worked so hard to get the game as neutral as possible. And now just falling once again, especially when you have this P5, all these guys are stacked on top of it. They're all finding these different angles to really hold. UYU managing somewhat of a pick here, finding a little bit of time on the site with 40 seconds. It's still not going to get them back to that tie game.
Best case scenario for UYU right now, and Cruz is on a power position here for Bricks, able to fight Kismet. GodRx the next one up, and GodRx not yet to fall, but the Diamante in hit. Pentagram breaks on in. 0-1 needs to stay alive here on 15 health. He is barely breathing. This is not the hill you want to be dancing with your demons on. Built by Gamers break back in for 2. Back onto the site they go, and they're gonna cross over the 240 marker here. This is dangerous for UYU.
Oh, extremely dangerous, especially with the end approaching so quickly, so rapidly. You have to find an answer, and you have to not only, you know, run off of it, you have to execute it damn near perfectly to carry out the game, keep that momentum going into your favor, because you only have 10 seconds to go against you right now.
Last chance for UYU. One, push to the aggression, but again, it's Kismet from behind. How many times is he going to do it? And so you guys watch your back for UYU, but they're right back into the sill for the last 40 seconds. You are going to see the next hit from Built by Gamers immediately. Trophy system to give a little bit of help. Welly winning the big gunfights here as you have the cross from Green on bridge. Can Kismet be that difference maker again? He's setting up for this break. And from the front, Confession comes on through. Kismet able to take control of Green. Here comes the collapse. You gotta win your gunfights on point, and Welly does exactly that. Kismet has to give up this site and play for next.
I mean, of course they do. I mean, this is the only really case scenario they have because BBG, they're only 9 points shy. They have that P2 coming up. They're holding it right now. They have to make a break, and Welly there in the back doing enough to really give themselves some kind of hope. But they have 5, 4, 3, 2. They have to get onto this side immediately, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Built by Gamers, they rotated. They played their position perfectly. They knew they only had a few seconds to win out on this game. They knew they could give up on hill number 1. Props to the veterans here. He's got the new kids on the block for the elites. Up against a team that's been together for quite a long time. And you see the experience plays off in the long run, but you take a look at the history for this UYU squad in day number 2. And I mean, looking back to that, they lost that game number 1, Garrison Hardpoint as well. So I'm sure that they have the ability to bounce on back. Let's move on to our next matchup, though. So we're hopping right back into Trash Bros and Lore Gaming for that main matchup as they're on Miami Search and Destroy. Lore has barely a lead, 3-2.
Not really enough to give themselves to really run with it, but it will be enough to manage a kind of a comfy lead as Lore's sitting really just in a good spot, just overall. The way they've been performing today, just what they brought to the table. I mean, right here, getting kind of shut down, not exactly what you want. Maybe Caster's curse kicking in a little bit there, but I mean, the way
Ooh.
they're maybe going to get this return onto the board is going to definitely
Oh my
play one
goodness!
hell of a match.
Ramby makes it a one-on-one. He's shooting good here on Miami as the neon lights are favoring him. You got to recover that bomb though. If you are Ramby, and if he grabs this bomb and makes it bolt to that A site, he might be able to get the bomb down. But he's playing for the kill, and Mock is making the right read to it, rotating all the way back. Docks right in behind. Poor timing for Mock. Ramby here to reap his reward.
Oh my
Lord
God.
Gaming. All up to Ramby for the 1v3 clutch. Takes their lead 4-2.
I mean, look at this right here. Getting one, then turning around and saying, no, I need another. Going for two, and then just absolutely playing it slow from right there and saying, all right, we're going to get this round to the board. It was a little bit rough of a start, but it's all good. We've sat there and had one hell of a run today, and I'm not going to let it get shut down just because I get some teams clipped off.
I cannot believe that is Lore Gaming's tail in a round for stage 5 challengers. Take a look at this here. You see now Perform 7-3, but all eyes are on Ramby for what he did last time because he's on a 3 spree. With the help of Perform, team shots on the hollow takes the player advantage into Lore's hands. Perform hits the deck, looking to stay alive here. Oh, but 2v3 Mick.
Crash Bros, we do see Yuli's still alive. He was kind of in a rough spot earlier, but he does at least make it to get, he's got his. So, I mean, we just got to see Mock really pull something out here. Hasn't had too many opportunities to be in a highlight situation just yet, but he could pull it out knowing that Ramby's going to be over there in the back. Only issue is he has to read Parasite, and this man has been a force.
Mock 0-5 as well. As if you clutch this round, all is forgiven for the donut. But you have to isolate 2 1v1s, and you don't even have the bomb in your hand, so you can't play the objective. You have to play the kills at this point, and Parasite spots you well. You get the team shots. Lore Gaming play that phenomenally to take their lead to 5, put themselves on map point, looking to go 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, just everything playing in their favor right now, just the way they kind of played all that. I mean, super clean from the likes of Lore to get themselves another round on the board, especially those picks there off the start, off the rip, getting the reads towards the center. Crash Bros trying to find an answer, get the little double there in the middle from Yuli, but not enough when you have just so many guys stacked up together like that.
Mock on the brink, being the agent on Miami. Things you do not want to have happen to you, especially in a tournament of this caliber. But take a look at this mini map and the setup you have. Look at Yeez making the full rotation through Garage, and a lot of noise from Ramby to keep those eyes peeled on him. So if you can keep the distraction up, Yeez might be able to snake his way in behind and make a play. But Perform loses the gunfight. Mock, no longer an agent, finds his first kill of the round for the game.
Does indeed, and it's enough to give themselves a little lead here. Crash Bros finally finding a man advantage, and this is what they have to really play off of. Them being in defense, they're not able to really make a push off of that. They just have to really play for more trades in this stage. And Lore, I mean, these guys, they are just made of double kills. So that's the most concerning part if you really can't follow through with that, because you know your deficit's going to come right back.
No longer a surprise through Garage. The Trash knows exactly where you're coming through. Parasite for the slide. Can't play his life. Jintroid's going to put him in the grave. Next up is Yeez to bat, and he's looking to put some heavy shots onto Jintroid. Some pressure's out there, but time is against you. 14 seconds left. The swing from Lore. Ramby drops. Yeez makes it interesting, but not interesting enough. Trash Bros stay alive.
Do indeed find themselves a third round onto the board here, getting another answer on top of the double that Lore just dropped onto the floor there in front of these guys. I mean, they have to have something coming up here because especially with how Lore was playing earlier, they now have, this second map coming up in their favor. They have to pull something out if they want to keep this series alive, because in that control, that's just going to diminish your whole morale.
Now you're looking at Mock, no longer 0-5, now 1-6. On the other hand, Lore Gaming drop another round, so need to find their footing again if they want to put this one away. But a chance for Trash Bros to get something under their feet and dip their toes into the victory pool so far in the search and destroy, but only a little bit. Ramby making a play here with the AR, so aggressive. Will it pay off? I don't know if he was spotted out here, but I'm sure Yuli, with the way he's playing this corner, he has an idea that the aggression is there. Parasite throws some shots down range. It's going to back up the Trash Bros players. Nobody dropping yet. Still 4-4.
Be a great little spot here because we know that Yuli's going to try and go back. I mean, this guy's getting overzealous. He wants to find a pick. He wants to get that man advantage with nobody picked off yet. But Ramby, I think he's still under the radars. He's going to find one and finding that advantage, but Yuli is there for the trade as he's going to capitalize on that same exact spot. And it seems as if they're eyeing A now, but Parasite's still lingering.
Well, here's the harder task is getting Parasite off this boat.
Oh,
and
my
you can
God.
see that. Peeking around the corner, Hollow may be able to hit the deck of this boat and come up from above, but you look at Yeez is helping out his teammate from afar and Perform's already rotated along. 21 seconds left, a 1v3 for Mock. With the way he's been performing here on the Search and Destroy, might be a little bit out of hand, but hey, weirder things have happened. Yeez, though, put some shots in behind. Mock in serious trouble. Yeez goes for the challenge, and Lord Gaming are going to put Miami Search and Destroy away. Take a lead, 2-0 here in the series. Amazing so far from Lore Gaming. They are impressing me. I will not stop saying that.
And that's completely fine and of a statement to make. I mean, Lore Gaming, they've had one hell of a day thus far. And I think they're going to keep continuing to impress us. I mean, the guys, just because they had a name change doesn't mean they've really changed their mentality because goodness gracious, they're doing just as good as they consistently do.
And let's head on to the next one. No one shoots back and UT Crew. It's their first hardpoint advantage. No one shoots back, having quite the start of it as well. He's using Garrisons have so far been one-sided affairs on this day, as they're looking to put this one away, but not able to do it on this garbage hill.
Really rough here for these guys. Not enough indeed, because I mean the way this is playing and now they're down 100. I mean, UT Crew, they had such a great run in terms of that first series they had. I mean, every single map was super close for them, and they've had one hell of a run, but shoot back. I mean, them really kind of being a wild card right now against these guys because UT Crew just, I mean, they've already had one on, they've had a broadcast, and I mean, they've really had some kind of reads on them thus far. But I mean, now in this site, shoot back just coming in, just guns a-blazing right now.
Well, another situation where you see parallel differences in success as no one shoots back. I mean, they have quite the resume, recently winning one of the Challenger Cups. Under a different name, of course. Nonetheless, you are going to be seeing this big break from 2. Sparty and ProLoot combined now. Rotating all the way around through green for a little bit of extra control. But right now, just looking to hold off on this map. Rotating back to the reset on point 1. And they only need 9 points to put this map away. Looking at them hopping on and keeping their foot in. Fire tucked away in the corner. Archive spots him out. 3 down now for no one shoots back. But UT Crew, they have to run onto it. 5 seconds left to win it out. You need to contest this hill.
Dude, I mean, only 5, as you said. 5 seconds left. That's going to be enough to really just have one real clean sweep and end it out. But it doesn't even seem like they need to do that as they're going to grab these picks on the outside and give themselves an easy little finish there on the hard point.
So as always, I mean, yesterday we saw a ton of Garrison hardpoints. Today's no different. And those Garrison hardpoints today are just, looking well practiced from these teams. And Rex, I mean, he's having quite a stunning end of the play there, but we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to move back on into the UIU versus Built by Gamers matchup as they found themselves onto standoff here. So we head back into the nostalgic map. The farmlands. We got a 3-1 lead for UIU.
Pretty damn quick for these guys here, especially. I mean, what an answer from that hard point. I mean, the way they're just already in such a strong lead, BBG getting themselves a pretty easy bomb down. God sitting up there in the back and Pander grabbing that pick that may sit there and put themselves in a pretty swift 2-3 if they can find it. They do.
Talking about Swift. Maybe even Phil Swift. No amount of flex tape can fix that round. Flawless from Built by Gamers. Switching back these sides, though, as they cut this lead back to a 1-round deficit, 3-2. UYU down a map as well. And standoffs that a map where you really can make this one site mean a lot. Meaning that A site, but if you can make your way onto this B site, if you can find an opening, that would be such a power position to hold. Trouble is just getting the bomb down at B.
Especially with the house so close right there, you guys are already going to be allocated around there constantly. So, I mean, it's already just a lingering threat in the back of your player's head to sit there and know when you can manage something like that, a plant. And, I mean, looking at Pentagram right here, he's going to have 2 held threats on his back if he does sit there and try and manage this. But with them being the offensive, GodRx could have an easy little answer here.
Noisy catching some tough timing from Deli.
Oh, no.
But might find some beautiful timing onto GodRx. Almost shaking those off those shots, but now the electricity is going to bolt out from these squads. This Cruz has an idea. This player's in Deli. Pentagram goes to the challenge, able to win that out, but the trade is there from Noisy. And Juan wins a big 1-on-1 as well, all up to Kismet. Able to make it a 1-on-2. The bomb yet to go down. Looks like it's going to be planted shortly. Welly drops it. Noisy inside of Brown, but Kismet walks right past his opposition, and UYU take back their lead to 2.
Gotta check those corners, man. What a great kind of push back on. If he just had the checks there, it would have really just turned the tides and sit there and gave him something and putting them in that 1v1, being closer to the bomb and forcing it back. But, I mean, the way that panned out, just super unfortunate for the likes of BBG to put themselves in a bigger deficit than they were already in, especially when they were trying so damn hard to sit there and claw back from it. But, I mean, they do have 2 more rounds at their grace. Sit there and get some more to work on the board here. And, I mean, by no means are any of these players asleep. They're all doing one heck of a good job. And, I mean, as long as I can just find a little bit more and find the right picks and check around their vicinity a little bit quicker, they could easily find themselves in a favorable situation.
Well, Noisy and Cruz tucked away on the A side, able to combine for first blood. Kismet laying alongside the fences with that bomb in their hand. Don't want to drop it because that would be tough to recover. But I think Noisy has an idea. Kismet's there. He's playing the smart move, not overexerting himself. Maintaining this control.
Slow from both sides of the field. We don't have a bomb yet down. Kismet's going to be trying to eye something, trying to make something work. But the way that UYU is kind of allocated out across the map and spread to some extent, they're going to be waiting for this push out from Welly. And if Anders eyeing that, knowing that the aggression is going to come down, they have to go ahead and flush out. Now just play a little bit of defense.
Bomb down at B. Here comes the flood. UYU take their player advantage to 2. You see an answer back from Kismet on to 1.
Defuse.
But it's all up to Kismet now. The defuse is being stuck. Welly does not fake it whatsoever. UYU play that so well. And even though Kismet finds a few kills, it's not going to determine the outcome of that round. Welly. Gut of iron.
I mean, yeah, Kismet right there. He can find himself enough. He can find himself the kills. He can work out a play there, but you just don't have the time when you have all these UYU players stacked up on this bomb, just going ahead and balls deep in on this kind of defuse. And they really just worked out to his favor because you know when you have your guys watching your back, you're going to go ahead and try and stick it.
And this is the answer back that UYU has had all night. Giving up that first map. Doesn't waver them whatsoever. Welly taking the bomb to B. You do see Pentagram inside Deli and GodRx inside Grandma's. So you take a look back at a couple rounds. It was Noisy to find that opening onto GodRx and Pentagram actually. Some shots being thrown at Kismet here as he's just dancing on the A site.
Enough really for him. I mean, he's on that defense. He's found himself enough to manage by himself out there as Panders. Watching a little bit more of an odd angle there towards the back, trying to, manage something and get these little checks going out. But Kismet, this dude is being absolutely aggroed, and he's going to have to get that follow-up pretty quickly with the way that UIU is positioning themselves.
Welly's catching some beautiful timing down the middle of the map. Pentagram goes down to Deli. See GodRx inside Gramus. Finds the answer, but Noisy's the one to find the opening again onto GodRx up top. So now, bomb covered by Cruz. He's going to be rotating all the way around the back into behind Panda. Not even expecting it. All up to Kismet. 1v3 as he's made a flank of his own. Noisy shoulders him. Going for the challenge, but he's just playing alive in the deep corner. Swings on out. Noisy puts the nail in the coffin. as UYU bounce back once more to even up the series.
Yeah, just not the best read from BBG right there, especially when the game slowed down. You have them eyeing the A site, that B site, trying to look towards the middle a little bit. But I mean, the way they just kind of play it out right there, not smart enough to get the picks and find the players to really get those free shots down.
Speaking of keeping the train going, Mick, from UYU to UT Crew. Over to Express we go, inside the pit. Fire looking for one, but he's pitched out on either side, and that's a quick round from UT Crew to take an advantage. An early advantage, 1-0.
On themselves a quick little B-site push, as we typically like to see from the likes of Express, and how everything just panned out. Just a lot of aggression. Dylan Rex once again being that best play kind of guy that you'll see over there on the bottom. I mean, just absolutely showing out, as we've seen just time and time again tonight, keeping the momentum going, and that's exactly what they're going to need to play off of, especially in the likes of Express, where you have so many individual efforts being brought to the table against these guys with shoot back.
Phantom's looking for some information through information. But it is going to be a 4-hit to A. TV control in no one shoots back's hands. Rex might be able to get in a position to find a kill, but bomb gets planted early. Now time against UT Crew for this retake, and Prolute takes the advantage into shoot back's situation. Even catches some time on a Rex, so all up to one last play. That's Phantoms. Just to rotate all the way back around and really dancing with Prolute here, able to still find that kill, but the trade is in fact there for Mohawk. And no one shoots back, answers back with an attacking round of their own.
You know the push is going to come through, buddy, and you can just get that window exploited out of you right there. I mean, it's the way that was kind of played when you're in a situation of a 1v4 that's super rough. To get one is good enough, really, if you're trying to just even things out. But the way everything panned out right there, Phantom just being absolutely shooting gallery from the guys. And even if it didn't carry through, he was still going to just really get hounded out.
Something to be watching out for Express, everyone, as you know that this map is very counter-intuitive or counter-strat heavy. You see usually 4 hits coming in either side, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. 4 players on either turn. There's going to be a bloodbath in the pit. The gauntlet really here in Challengers. Archives opens up at the first, instantly traded back as you see shoot back finds 3 in succession. And now, last one alive, Rex. With the AR in hand, not able to make anything happen from that. No one shoots back. A quick round on defense to split the difference.
Lane from the likes of shoot back here, getting those picks, capitalizing on top of getting that little man advantage, finding the second just to close it out and just pinning down Dylan here. He typically can manage a little bit, but I mean, when you're in a situation like that, there's not really too much you can do when you're already kind of cornered over there on the bottom B side.
Now UT Crew need a defense of their own. If they want to stay even, that is.
Just absolutely flooding the side from shoot back. Jimbo finding that first blood. That could be the tide to really play with him, but this little high five coming through could also even out the game.
Prolute's got the hands. Getting up. Boxing gloves are on, but last one alive, he's making a dip to A. Oh, and Rex actually spots him out, so they're going to concede the bomb plant immediately. Prolute goes for the job, because he knows that he needs to put the objective in his time to put a little bit of pressure on UT Crew's necks. Now, retake from UT Crew. I'd like to see them play together on this one. Play for a trade, and Rex spots out Prolute. I don't think Prolute expects it at all, and he does not, so Rex gets the better of him, takes the important gunfight over the shoulder, is able to get that defuse with plenty of time. UT Crew, big answer back on defense.
Huge for these guys. Finding something, getting an answer back, as you said, evening up the game. Especially after they were down such a far deficit and got closed out so quickly in that last round. Knowing the B read, knowing how these guys on shoot back, how aggressive they're going to play it out. Just absolutely finding an answer, winning the little advantage right there and getting themselves another round on the board.
Ooh. Let's dip in quickly. Away from the search, into the control. Lore Gaming looking for the flawless sweep over Trash Bros here. Looking to take a 4-0 stance in the Challenger Elites as well. You do see lives even. B-side Caps looking for A to snowball in, and Ramby is wreaking havoc inside the backline. Perform does the work. Oh my! Jintroid eats it. As Yuli, the last one standing over at A, he's cleaned up. That's going to be stuck on the site as Ramby is on a 5 spray now. This is looking a little bit dusted for Trash Bros, but Hollow's still a chance to get onto the side. He has to make it work now for the break. Coming on in the flood. First one in, Hollow finds a big kill as well. But 3 go down for Trash Bros, including a teammate. Yuli's out of the mix, and that is going to be a flawless sweep from Lore Gaming on Control.
Jesus Christ. I mean, everything about Lore, just they've shown that. I can't like, you said you couldn't talk enough about them. I feel like I already have been doing that all night. I've been trying to get the benefit of the doubt to the other side, but I mean, Lore, they are just running the fucking table.
What a round 2 on Control, but let's go back to our main series here. One-on-one firing. Phantoms fire somehow takes that with the 74U, even though Phantoms had every idea that the rotations was coming through. And from 1 to 2. Just look at this. This is exactly what I was talking about. 4 hits, 4-on-4 hits are so prominent here on Express as you just see a bloodbath on that connector. Shoot back, take their lead again.
The way they're playing this out, giving themselves another answer on the board, going back and forth. This is exactly what we like to see, especially on Express. I feel like at this pace, we're definitely going to see around 11 on our hands if we can.
Here we go. Out the floodgates. Immediate sights. 2B. A little bit hesitant to put his bomb down every right, so Phantom's in the back line, but still they wait him out, and Proloot takes the kill. Immediate trade from Rex. Bomb should go down. Should, but it won't. Proloot evens us up. And now Rex, he's in the backfire. What a kill. They're making the rotation A now.
Indeed, and I feel like that's the best shot, especially when you're trying to make these rotations. Proloot, he's holding it out. You got one man trying to transfer over. Oh, but they actually are going to execute towards this area, and Archives being the one man standing. I feel like if anybody's going to go ahead and win these close quarter combats, getting onto this site, it would be him. That is, if Shootback was going to go for that A site. Instead, they opt once again for the B, throwing even us off guard again.
The great bamboozle Mick. Archives is scratching his head. Proloot's going to drop this bomb eventually as soon as he clears the site. See if we go to plant it right in the middle. So if Archives wanted to hop this bomb, he has to expose himself to so many points of contact. Here comes the retake. Through information booth or ticket booth. Archives. Proloot spots the shoulder. And he's going to rotate with his teammate. They need to play for this trade. And from the top ropes, you drop. Proloot gets in behind. They had him dead to rights. Perfect plays from Shootback.
A clean little finish from these guys, going ahead and taking advantage of that whole kind of, man they had right there, clearing that out, utilizing both sides of the field, knowing that they were going to have that little duo power going. So great play for them to go ahead and establish that lead a little bit more than what they had last time, trying to find an answer to that first round.
So, No One Shoots Back has a 4-2 lead and Sparty's 0-5, so impressive from the rest of the team. As you see these players making the right moves. Sparty gets rid of the donut, makes it a stick. 1 kill to his name, 1-5. Big first blood as well. Exactly what you need. Sparty makes it 2. Sorry, Mick. He almost makes it 2. Makes it 3. 2 and D. Oh my goodness, I'm stumbling there. Rex shuts down the ace, but Mohawk closes the round out.
No, by all means, man, go off. I mean, I'm just sitting here trying to just really follow up on what you got going. When we see Shootback just closing out such a clean round, giving themselves a match point, it's just flowing for these guys right now. They are finding the answers to everything. They just have such an opener, and they are carrying it, especially in the likes of UT Crew. I mean, they have won themselves a heck of a series, and for them to just get shut down like this, I'm sure they are taken completely by surprise off their feet.
5-2. I call Sparty out, and he pops off. And now, look, a full 4 hit is going to be met by nothing. The attacker is going to A, and I think UT Crew noticed that right away because you see the full rotation. Bomb should go down immediately.
It most definitely is. I mean, especially when you get all those picks right off the front and you sit there and have all the intel to play with, knowing that you can go ahead and push the other side. When we now see the fights coming through, Proloot's going to find himself 3. Phantom's being the last one standing. Not going to find the ace, but such a clean, quick round for these guys to close it out.
I don't know what to say, man. Prolute, the snap to Jimbo, the expectation that Archive's gonna be right around the corner. He's doing it all for his team. 12-6. But it's not over yet. We are going from game to game to game. Let's head back to UIU as they're on control. They already found a defense, now on attack. Sorry. Yeah, on attack, they've capped B.
Definitely on the attack, finding themselves one side and plus a tick of another. But built by gamers, by this whole night, they've had nothing but answers. They had nothing but aggression. They've had nothing but just dominance across the board. Sometimes slipping under the covers and just getting swept under the rug by UIU. But it looks like Kismet's going to be the one sweeping right now. These guys over here in the back, alongside Pentagram, just shoving these guys back to their spawn and possibly locking them out for good.
Huge kills by BBG. They've cut the life lead down to 2 for UIU. Now forces UIU to back up. They have to clear Pentagrams out of the spawn before they make anything happen.
Oh,
but it's not gonna happen.
There for the follow-up, man. That's rough.
Insane. And look, UIU now, they're spawning all the way poolside. Cruz dies in laundry. Look at this. You got total north-south support for either team. This is not looking good for UIU now.
And it could definitely spell something really good for them if they find a couple picks. But Panda getting one right there. Resetting that man of Welly all the way back to his spawn, right into that little bear's nest that they had going on, as we can see. Picking him off again, and RX, everybody just getting him right back to where they started. And Kismet and Pentagram saying, all right, let's reset this, get back over toward those spawns and find some clean picks. But we do have, we got Noisy over here finding his way out, forcing himself back onto the site.
If they can pick this last player up, they do. They get onto the A site, they stop the clock. Cruz almost finds a double kill into the middle of the map. Pander needs to find some kills. Exactly what happens. Streaks are going to be called as well. They need this now. Built by gamers are stuck in a pretty unfortunate situation to get back into this hill. You got 10 seconds left. UIU racing there. Cruz stops the clock once more. Noisy alongside him. One wins the fight onto Kismet in the site. Cruz also wins his gunfight. So UIU in a little bit of control. Just need Cruz to turn up big for his team. Not going to be the case. Welly able to find one. The shot punch is going to come out for BBGs. They put this game back down. It was a little bit dangerous towards the end there, but off their map control.
They ain't sleeping, man. These guys, the BBG, I mean, once you think you got a lead on them, that's where you mess up. You can't sit there and think that you're going to have a lead on them. You got to sit there and keep the game, treat it like it's even for every single second. Otherwise, they were going to find something to absolutely just stab you in the back with. And I mean, they've done that time and time again. GodRx surprisingly getting stabbed in the back himself this time around, because he's been going off all night. And for him to be going 6-13 on the raid control is a little bit shocking, to say the least. And I got to say that may be kind of a point from that first round they had, but they're having one heck of a start here.
Heck of a start indeed. As through kitchen, you're going to find money control and jump right into the site. You're able to find 2, though. If you're UIU, make it 3. As all that aggression towards B, it's nothing.
Goes onto the site. Pentagram finding something, and Juan actually getting a kill there. But getting the trade out is going to buy a little bit more time for Pentagram to also get closed out on site, and they're just short of that first tick. So I feel like in this case scenario, they have to find some form of default to really put pressure on both sides of the field, because UIU, they're going to go ahead and start flooding here. We already see them trying to go for the defense and getting that pick over towards the B side, or A, excuse me. They're going to have to flood this, as we see them just fully stacking and getting as much progress as quick as possible.
Noisy going to cut his rotation short through pillars. What a shot onto Pentagrams to take down 2. Almost gets Pander as well. What it said, built by gamers, able to connect with 3. Looking to put A away and put a minute onto the time base, but Welly makes the rotation in, able to find a few. A still gets capped. Minute 47 now on the time bank. 19 lives for BBG, 17 lives for UIU.
Enough time on the clock here for BBG to really play with. They have that 2 life advantage, so I can just plan those lives there for a little while, for about a minute, then find a little bit 30-second chaos there on the site there at the end. they could really pressure it. But having Juan come in here and getting that double is not going to help their case at all.
One bit. Now you got Wand with the Diamati able to clear out Tiki. Minimap 2. Cruz finds himself in zigzag. Gonna be the cutoff player. No idea whatsoever. Panda's gonna lose his life for it. Gotta check your corners, bud. Oh, what a shot from Welly as well. Cruz finds another one onto Pander. And now UIU getting quite the life lead.
That indeed they are finding themselves in a favorable situation for what could have seemed like down in the dumps. But BBG does still have that site to play with. They're only at a 4 life deficit, and we've seen them go on some pretty nasty streaks here before. But only issue is you have 30 seconds left on that clock, and you have to make it happen quick, whatever you are going to do.
Is able to take one down in behind, but really needs to stay alive for his team. And stop this clock too. So he is going to hop onto the A site. One doesn't even break a sweat on there. Still going to pay for it. As BBG finds an opening. 2 players out for UIU. And they're spawning all the way back laundry. You got players set up in bedroom. Player in money. And a player on site collecting this time.
Cruz with a massive flank coming in here.
Doesn't even care about the player on site. He's picking up the people around it. Letting Welly take care of Kismet. UIU playing this picture perfect retake right now. Break back into the site now. 18 seconds left, and BBG have to race just to get back to B.
Yeah, and they have to go through the speed bump that is Cruz. They know they have to take care of him because if they go under, he's going to just grab those picks, and having that man stationed is just going to be enough of a stop to give themselves the second round on the board.
Well, they didn't have the lives to do it. This was only Kismet and 1 left. So they were able to get picked up, and UIU defending rounds look to be the pattern for these 2 teams. As after 3, we see UIU up 2-1 on control.
Indeed, finding themselves in a really good spot here, especially after what they've had running so far. I mean, UIU's had a little bit of a rough night against BBG, but they're finally finding their way to claw out a little bit in terms of, they've already found 1 map across the board. They now are trying to fight for the second one, especially after just getting absolutely dominated on that hard point. It's only a little bit of an answer, finding the tie game at least once or twice.
One noisy. A few other players from UIU all collecting a few kills onto BBG. 5 off the board, almost 6. As Cruz finishes off Pander in the back line. It's going to be GodRx to answer back. 1 tick cemented on B. The flood coming in. Noisy is shooting nukes right now with that AK-74U. We see a few kills now for BBG. We still can't get Noisy off this. On a 4 spree, looking for his 5th. But most importantly, looking for the 2nd tick here. And BBG give up another tick to Noisy, who's been solo holding this site so far. Has some reinforcements now. Welly's into the mix. As BBG, they're going to give it up.
Undoubted, the way they just absolutely stormed on there, taking that site by force and maintaining a life advantage at the same time. I mean, when you're sitting in the shoes of BBG, you got to figure out what exactly you could have done to answer that.
No streaks from Noisy, but the damage has been done. GodRx able to cut some players off from the mid, finds Welly, Kismet to pinch. 2 players out for UIU, 2 players still standing to make the damage into it. Noisy not able to take the 1-on-1. He is overwhelmed by the pressure. Tick to A for UIU as they're going to have to go back to the drawing boards to take another hit at it. And that might just be the opening that they needed. Welly and Juan find 2.
Could be enough here, the way they're just managing themselves out. Finally getting that life advantage a little bit more even. But you do have only 2 ticks left over there towards the A site. So UIU, if they find a pretty good break, get themselves all stacked on that site, it could go quick enough for them to really manage it before that reset comes through, as long as they can find 1 or 2 picks to stall it out.
Juan and Welly again combined for 3 this time. Noisy gets himself onto the site. 2 ticks are done. Working on the 3rd one. Nobody can touch BBG. Absolutely held back on control. This attack looking so good for UIU. They take the map 3-1. And once again, combined for maps 2 and 3 to take their series lead. This team is so dangerous, Mick. I mean, you're looking at BBG here. This was a team in stage 4 that finished number 2 in playoffs. Only after Trash Bros. This is absolutely insane by the new kids on the block. UYU is this, some of them, most of them, it's their first time showing up into elites. It's even the first time that UYU itself is in Challenger elites. So you're looking at them to keep it going.
Just a little bit rusty, but definitely find a way to polish themselves up pretty quickly. As we see UT Crew trying to find themselves a little bit of polish, as they're looking pretty down in the dumps right now when it comes to trying to claw back in this control.
Okay, one map at a time, Mick, for UT Crew. As you're going to collect, you're going to finish off on this B site, put another minute on the board. Lives are even. Now you're looking at breaking up these players in the back, but you got to get through Sparty first. And exactly what Rex does. Big kill.
Big kill indeed, giving themselves enough to play with, kind of buying some more time onto the clock. Only issue is you had that life even, so I mean you have to sit there. You only really have 3 more goes at this side as a team, and with Dylan being the first one to fall, but also getting that trade on to Sparty, that's going to be pretty rough for these guys for it to be a hectic little last couple seconds on this A side.
Arrives. Can't win up against Fire now. Every kill that Fire gets is huge for the reinforcements to come back for his team. No one shoots back. Running to get back to his teammate Jimbo, though. Finds the opening for Rex to get onto the site and collecting times. UT Crew now. You gotta stack it. You have an opportunity now to put this round away. One take off. Second one being collected here. Shit, no one shoots back. I don't even think they can get in right now. They're having trouble getting through these first players. As Fire finds a big kill, Rex peeks around the corner. You have the contention from Mohawk, but the trade's brilliant from Phantoms. No more respawns for no one shoots back. They are able to break the sights. 1 life lead for UT Crew.
Just enough here as we see Sparty trying to diminish down the time a little bit as they found those second ticks. Getting themselves enough on the board here, but they only have 1 life to play with now. So, I mean, with no respawns on both sides, it's where it gets super hectic, and they have to create some pressure on the site while managing to get some picks on the way.
Every kill that comes in is huge on either team now, as no one shoots back, down to 3. UT Crew looking to overwhelm with the player advantage. They got to push past Fire first. And exactly what Rex does, all up to Sparty on point. Makes it a 1v2. Players to his left, players to his right. 1v1, Diamante not able to make it happen. Jimbo from the staircase puts a round in UT Crew's hands.
And that indeed is what they need to keep this run alive. They still have something on the board. They didn't give up that last round. They're still in this game, and that's exactly what UT Crew needs. A little bit more time to breathe, a little bit more game to play in, because these guys, they have enough to go the distance. They just have to find that flow to really play into.
1-1, Mick. UT Crew haven't had the best showing so far in Stage 5. But everything could change now.
I mean, everything's been close for them. I mean, by no means just because of the series point and how the maps have gone. I mean, every single map has been close relatively.
No one shoots back, gets green control, breaks into the A site, looking to connect on some time. Take a look at the mini map. You have a player, Rex, inside bricks. Finds a kill onto Mohawk as well, allows the reinforcements to come in, but Prolu makes the heads up play to dip out of green. And just make sure that these players cannot push off to control B site. Oh, Prolute! What a play from himself, but not able to find both.
That's not enough right there, and that could have been a huge pick for these guys to buy so much time on the defending side. But, I mean, that enough, that pick towards green, locking off that A side a little bit longer is going to play a huge favor for him because UT Crew's now locked towards this B side. I mean, that's kind of what they're going to keep their eyes on as we see Dylan still being up there towards top green, trying to shut this out a little bit longer.
No one shoots back, has accumulated quite the life lead on their attack now. And Prolute, big kill onto Phantoms. Connects for 2 is Sparty. Gets them onto the B site to solidify 2 ticks of progression. Looking to put away this whole site and take the whole minute onto the board extra. UT really needs to slow this one down, and it needs to start with a kill onto Prolute. That doesn't seem to be happening at all. Rex needs to turn up big here. Exactly what you needed from this AR. 20 and 15. Answers back in full force.
Does indeed. Found himself a lot of aggression, especially running that Krieg in his hand. These guys just going ahead, resetting them back towards those spawns. Only issue is you do have Fire back here still. You have everybody now pushing towards these spawns, trying to find these flanks towards the back. UT Crew just kind of forced up towards their side as we see shoot back just kind of flooding around these spawns.
Mohawk dips, dives, dodge, anything you can ask for. Was still cleaned up from the spawns. Spent a little bit too time. And the cost is huge. 2 kills now. First, no one shoots back. Looking to overwhelm the site. 9 lives left for UT Crew as well. So if you get this kill into Archives, it puts UT Crew with their backs against the wall. We need to get back on the site. And they have to get through the player inside bricks as well. That's number 1, Sparty, doing the duty. Taking down 1. Rex out of the mix. The retake here, setting up Jimbo right outside of this. But Prolu shooting nukes and Mohawk looking over his shoulder. All the kills going, no one shoots back right now. And they get a second tick of progression. Jimbo peeks on up, takes down Fire. 2 kills now for UT Crew to get back onto the site. The connection's going to be out. I like the play from Fire.
Indeed. Just holding out, waiting for your reinforcements, trying to find that flood, but you do have Phantoms kind of going off there in the back, resetting those guys towards that spawn as UT Crew, as they're kind of stacking on the site. Shoot back is just absolutely going to flood this because you see they have so many times to reset this. As long as they find a pick every single time as they get one in the back, that's going to be enough to play for them to really shove this site from the back and kind of just completely flood it as we see another one go down. Dylan Rex,
2
their
lives
top
left
frag right now.
Archives and Jimbo against the world. And that world is no one shoots back at the moment. Did you see them find us 2? Mohawk 1-on-1 on site. No one shoots back. Overwhelms their opponents. And with the life lead all round long, they just keep the trades going. And a 2-1 lead now for this team, looking to take the flawless run here in the series.
That right there, I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it was going to be shoot back. The way they just kind of fragged in here. An absolute banger of a series, just back to back to back. Shutting down UT Crew, who had a little bit running for them when it came around to that first series. I mean, the way they can just close this out, we've seen them do it on defense once. I think we can most definitely see them do it again. Not exactly in this kind of matchup because they've done it on attack both times so far, but the way they're holding it out, the way they're just kind of giving themselves a lot to play with, I think they had the momentum in their favor this time around.
Well, as no one shoots back, takes a 2-1 lead in the control. I'm taking a look at UYU and BBG because they're heading into their map number 4 on Moscow, or they're in the middle of it basically. And UYU up 117-73. If anybody is looking to keep their eyes on that as well, it is UYU up 2-1 in the series. So if they win Moscow, series is over, and they stay flawless. However, back to this control. No one shoots back on defense now as Mohawk finding a few kills in succession to take some real estate. Loses the distance fight to Phantoms.
We're seeing they're right here. A little bit of a lockup over here towards the B side, kind of from both sides. The shoot back being the one to come out on top. And that's going to look like they're maybe pushing here for the spawns a little bit, but Prolu kind of backing off because he realizes he doesn't have the follow-up he needs.
Prolu some huge kills now. He's going to go exactly the same route that Mohawk was running. Aim finds another onto Rex. So Prolu on a 5 spree now, and you got 25 seconds for UT Crew to just touch a site and stop this clock. The life lead looks a little bit big. 3 more down for UT Crew. Things look a little bit dire. Swan's gonna come up. Rex needs to break on out. He needs to get past Fire here. Sitting on his head, he dips into the corner now. Takes the gunfight head on. Wins a big 1-on-1 as well. Down to 7 seconds left. And with another 3 going down for UT Crew, looks like no one shoots back. He's gonna take this series 3-0 and keep UT Crew away from a series win again.
That's rough, man. That's super rough for UT Crew there.
Need an answer. They need to find something. They're starting to fall away in the Challenger Elites.
I mean, they don't just need an answer. These guys need to go ahead and start the debate. I mean, they have to really just kind of come out slinging, and we just haven't seen that yet from them.
Oh, Crew shipped those shots to Kismet. As I said, we're hopping over into this UYU BBG game that I was referencing. You see the score 159-111. 30 seconds here on Fountain, and UYU in control of it as well. You know how dangerous this connection can be over to buses. You're looking at BBG to get a big break here. Welly, inside closet, peeks on now for the crossfire with Cruz. Shuts down Pentagram as well. Big plays from UYU to take down all 4 BBG members.
Right there. The way they got the flood going there through the center once again. Find themselves a little bit of a management going on. I gotta say, UYU having one hell of a hold right here. Find themselves towards the outside, especially locking down these rotations. And as we can see, they're already kind of eyeing that next site.
only just to get closed out by Kiz.
95 117. BBG in control of streets now, but Cruz hits the flank. Godorex is watching it. You have one still here. It'll take that player off the site. No one connecting the time. You get to hop up their window, but Kismet cleans it up. Back and forth. These teams so scrappy, Mick.
Super scrappy right here. I mean, BBG, the way they just absolutely came out slinging on that first hard point. Kind of slacking to get here on the site this time around, but they do have the setup for that next site. Getting these picks, holding it off a little bit, buying themselves some time, and actually pushing onto this site. It's not going to be enough to get them into a tie situation, but it's going to be enough to really carry this out a little bit longer as the contention just come through. So neither point's going for either side, but UIU capitalizing. Only needing 50 seconds now, hitting that 200 mark to really finish this off and actually close out the series.
You're down by 70, but we've seen Moscow a lot through Cold War, especially on Hardpoint. And you know that if you can connect points 1 and 2, you're right back into the mix at a deficit like this. You have control right now for BBG. Tries to swing onto Welly, but 2 players there for the Crossfire Panda. Inside checker window, but not the nade he wants. And overwhelmed by 1. Gets back into this hill now. UYU in control to put this one away. Only needing 36 points. The connection comes on through for BBG. Looking to break back in for a 3-on-1 player advantage. But Cruz has found his way into the back again. The route man with the AR. Doing it all for UYU. 3 go down once more for Built by Gamers. This is looking dire for the purple squad.
It is indeed, especially being down. Not even really hitting that 150 mark. They are going to find a little bit of scrap time here. If it plays in their favor, and it does, we're already going to see UIU in 1 setting up for the second site, trying to find a way to just capitalize and end this out. If UIU can get the shutdowns, as we see a second one, with Cruz kind of following up and helping the man out, they could actually really just find an end to the series, which is exactly what they want.
This comes from Kismet. Getting a little bit of momentum. Pentagram, he can pick up Cruz in the back line. That's going to be such a big hit onto this take, but jumps right on out. You see the full force of UYU watching it. Panda tries to get on the site, but everybody puts some shots into him. BBG backed into a corner now. 8 seconds left for UYU to take it. Cruz raining terror from above in police station. The front line locking it down as well. 2 seconds left. Nobody's going to touch from BBG, and UYU do it again. You lose map 1, but you win all 3 after that.
Do indeed. What a clean little reverse game there for them. Not exactly enough, and as I said just earlier, these guys are just full of answers. So getting that first one onto the board, reading into Built by Gamers, just letting them sweep it out right there. They have sat there and done nothing but answer and answer and answer tonight, the way they just really established themselves for those next 3 maps.
Brilliance from UYU. I mean, if I even take a look at this, they're going to move 4-0 in stage 5 elites. It is the wonder run for UYU, and I love to see things happen. I mean, Lore Gaming as well, 4-0, so you're really kind of watching for that matchup when it comes into fruition. Who's going to take the lead? Lore Gaming UYU is going to be quite the it's going to be quite the matchup once that does come to happen. But the matches looks like half finished up. I want to take a look back at UYU versus BBG in the history that we've seen for today. So, Mick, why don't we talk a little bit about these 2 squads?
I mean, just nothing but a real good one-sided games overall. I mean, as we saw in Garrison Hardpoint right there, look at that scoreboard. You see 198, but I mean, the way that BBG was just carrying the map up to that point, that was really the only kind of effort that UIU brought to the table. They had momentum playing in their hands, but BBG just having enough time to really retaliate because they had such a strong lead. And since then, UIU just really took off because they knew the read, they knew the players, how they were going to flow, and they just read into it, absolutely countered these guys.
Seems like standoff isn't the search and destroy that you want to take UYU to, Mick, as they look lights out on that second map. It's really been the story for this squad. I mean, how many times have we said UYU down 1-0 at the start of this game, and then they just pull it back like that? It happened yesterday. It happens today, too. They keep it going and keep it flawless and succession across the board as we've been covering this whole day. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of Call of Duty, Mick. I need to ask you, what was your favorite matchup for the night?
Personally, I love that. Lore, just across the board. Those guys were just consistent. I mean, nothing about them. There was a little bit I could nitpick about them, but by the time I would have wasted my time doing that, they would have found 3 more things good to buff it out in the meantime. So just across the board, loved what they had to bring to the table, and I'm super excited to see them coming up.
Well, folks, it looks like this week of Challenger Elites is going to be over. So if you're looking at next week to keep up with days 3 and 4, you can catch all the action here on IHOLDSHIFT for the community stream or the mainstream at Call of Duty Challengers on YouTube as well. Things are looking so good. It's really unpredictable what we're going to see. We're seeing miracle runs and we're seeing greatness fall. So tune in next week to see the outcome of the elite stage so far. Mick, it's been a wonder. But until next time, we got to end it here. So long, folks, and have a great night.